Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Factional Fight Plays Wurm Online. My name is Adam, and as you can see, once again, I'm flying solo. Feyran is indisposed at the moment, and we'll see what happens with that. But for now, you got me here, and today I'm going to be working on figuring out what I'm going to be doing with the new deed that's down here in front of our main area, and we'll see how how much space we have and what we can put down there. I know one really big issue that I'm dealing with right now is how slanted it is, so we'll get right into that just a second. Got a couple things to do before that. Got to get it set up. Really what happened was I turned on the stream and I haven't really got myself all set up, but I figured that I may as well turn on the stream and show you guys what I do to set up for this sort of thing. I got my wagon, and I'm going to be doing a bunch of digging, I think, so I'm going to need a whole bunch of crates, some random stuff in this wagon here. But let's grab some empty crates here. Not sure I'm going to need that many. So that should be good. And the other thing is my food bar is pretty low down here. And while I do this, I want to say hello to everybody here. We got Cave Surfer, Revnik. How's it going, guys? Zosinks. Is that how I say that? Fabricant. Da. How is everybody? Let's see who else is in here, hiding in here. We got Drakeling. Hey, how's it going, Drakeling? Whoops. Got Fabricant. Got Feyran. Hey, Feyran is there. Grafspy. It's Papa. Kalor. Not 47. Positivity Bot. Filderbeast. How's it going? Is it Popsicle? I recognize your name. We've been in here before a few times. Revnik. I think I said Revnik. Revnik, you are part of my alliance, aren't you? Yes. Of course. I know who you are, Revnik. Of course. You owned the New Haven Beach deed. And you are a patron of ours. I want to take a moment to thank you, all of you who are a patron of ours. I've been doing a lot of extra stuff on there, or at least trying to, like typing away and sending out posts. Yeah, just to say hi to the patrons and to say how grateful we are for your patronage. It's such a weird word, patron or Patreon. All right, let's eat this Full House pizza. So as you guys know, if you've been watching us in the last little bit, we've decided that the next big project that we're going to be working on, and it's not even that big of a project, but the next project we're working on is going to be the deed that we have gotten. I bought it from a player named Validate. I've known Validate for a long time. He's been, I guess a fan of the show for a long time, and so when we moved out here, he had acquired the deed just in front of us, which was at one time owned by Revnik, or that area anyway. And yeah, I asked him if I could purchase it from him so that I could, work on expanding this area. I've always wanted what's it called? A dock area ever since I moved here. And I noticed that for a long time he hasn't been working on it because he has a couple other deeds as well. And I know that he settled up somewhere up in that area. If I go that way a little bit, Validate put his stuff up there. So yeah, now we have acquired this deed over here. Now it starts somewhere around here. Lots of chopping to do. And then there's this big, huge hill to deal with. This humongous hill, which is going to be tough to deal with. And then there's a 10 tile perimeter between them. Hey, Warpheus. How's it going? Oh, and a whole bunch of... You know what? I just realized there's a whole bunch of cheers going on here. Thank you guys so much for the cheers. I gotta get used to all this stuff. How you can have those emotes next to the cheers. It's hard to tell which is which, but yeah. Okay, so this whole slanted area, I don't even know what to do with it. I wish Feyran was here, because he'd be able to shoot ideas off with me. You know, bounce ideas back and forth. And we got a couple cave openings to deal with right here. See, this is all the preliminary stuff that you gotta deal with when starting to think about how to, you know, fix up a deed. Now the deed doesn't go too far this way. I think, did I just leave it? Yes, I just left. How far does it go this way? Revnik, thank you so much for the subscribe, buddy. Thank you. Awesome. And what world are you on? I guess you mean what server am I on? I am on Xanadu. Yes, Xanadu is the server that I'm on. Here, I'll show you on the map. So this whole area is the Alliance area. Of course, there's lots of other deeds in the Alliance. If I zoom in here, let's see that star, the red star there, if you can see that. Yeah, I know, Xanadu. There's lots of people who don't like Xanadu for what they claim the lag. The lag is too bad. But you know what? Ever since I've gotten here, I haven't really noticed the lag. All this lag that people are talking about. I mean, like, I consider the lag under normal circumstances to be the time between I click and the time that refreshing bar at the bottom. You see that, how it refreshes for a little bit there, right? So the time between clicking and the time that the refreshing finishes, I call that the lag. And so I can see it, right? Because there is that refreshing. It's going on for sometimes a little bit longer than others, sometimes quicker than others. You know, I would estimate on average 0.2 of a second or something like that, which to me, I'm okay with. I am totally okay with 0.2 seconds lag. You know, this is not the type of game where that kind of lag makes a difference. You know, I also play a lot of Overwatch. I'm a first-person shooter type guy. I play a lot of Overwatch, and there you want, you know... Cave Surfer, thank you so much for the 100-bit cheer. Awesome. You know, we wanted to get... I'm getting sidetracked here, but we wanted to get, like, stuff... fireworks or whatever, stuff going on when the cheering happens, but still got to figure that out. We're slowly but surely figuring out all the channels. Plus, we're also trying to figure out emotes. Yeah, that stuff's gonna come at some point, I think. It's just a matter of working on it. You know, this is sort of a side project, hobby sort of thing for us. We have full-time jobs and very little time to play, and what time we play, I'm thinking about the streaming and stuff. So yeah, the emotes will be something that I'm going to be thinking about and all sorts of stuff. So what I was saying was, in a game like Overwatch, the lag makes a difference. Like, that would be horrible if I shot and it took 0.2 seconds before it registered that I shot. But for a game like Wurm, you know, I don't see a big deal about the lag. So let's see here. I'm trying to... It's way hard to do this while I'm on a wagon, so I'm going to come off the wagon and I'm just going to run around here. Okay, so one way I can do this is I can use the deed settlement token, deed settlement thingy. I guess I didn't have to go here. I could have gone into the my body or whatever, but let's see here. So this is the size for the deed. Let's survey the area. There we go. That makes it really easy to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so we got this tile. There's a ton of trees up there and this huge platform, which I want to dig down. I want to dig this whole thing down. Get much more room on the ground level here and see what the rock looks like under here. It might require a whole bunch of surface mining. I also want to convert this little waterway here into a boat mine entrance that goes into the rock right under here. So this will be my little harbor area. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where. Maybe over here or over there. The plan, I think, first is just to dig down this whole area down to the rock, see what the rock looks like, plan out the boat entrance, and then start imagining how to shape back the land, put back the dirt. The deed is only coming out to here, partially because this building is still up, and same with this one. So the plan is currently to bash this building here, which I think I can now because this building here is these walls are now decayed. Once a single wall decays, you can then bash the rest of the wall. So maybe that's one thing we'll do on tonight, and then expand the deed to encompass this building into the perimeter, and that'll quicken this building's decay. You know, I am sorry to destroy these buildings. They have been here and they have been abandoned for a long time. And I want to make this area look nice. I want to be able to stand in this area, look in and see a nicely developed area there. Yeah. Now that road leading up, I think, is not part of the deed. Right, the deed ends here. Okay, this road, I might leave this one. I'm not sure. It's actually hard to say because this one is inside the deed. And right over here, there's another road that is not inside the deed. And ever since moving to Factional Fight Village here, I've been thinking about if I could fix this road somehow, but part of it has to do with these pathways that lead up into this area. Is why it has to be sort of like flat here and flat down there. I don't know. Maybe make the road one tile wider. I don't know. Okay, so these are all just ideas and trying to survey the land. There's the back of the deed. And it can't be expanded any further that way because Factional Fight Village is up there, and there's the 10 tiles between that are the perimeters. Yeah, the only server that you refuse to go to, Xanadu. You know, it's not really that bad. You know, the one thing that is different, that I can see why people don't want to come here, is just the sheer size of Xanadu. Like this, the sheer size. If you wanted to go visit somebody, like you plan a deed on Xanadu, and then you realize, you know, you got a friend who you've known also moved to Xanadu, and yeah, if they're like, hey, I want to get, you know, here's a prime example. I watched a streamer maybe the other day, yesterday or the day before, and he was brand new to the game. He said he logged into Wurm Unlimited before, but he seemed like brand new to the game. Like he didn't really know things like, for example, how to join a village or how to, use V-teleport or how to really get from place to place, like the waystones and stuff. And he was just like running around trying to find his way to Esteron. Now Esteron is, let's take a look at the map. Esteron is somewhere, let's see, where is Esteron? Somewhere down here. Ah, here. He's trying to get to Esteron, right? So he's running down highways. He's like, he's trying to get down there because he's talked to somebody who might join him into the village. And he spawned in, where is it? Summerholt. He's spawned in at Summerholt. So he's up here, And he's trying to find his way down to Esteron, and he's running like down the highway. And I'm just like, wow, you're committed. I wonder if he ever made it, because I didn't finish watching the stream, but boy, oh boy. He was trying to get his way, and that's far. Xanadu is big. Alright, so got to make a plan for what we're going to be doing first. So I think the overall plan for this place is I kind of want to fix up that area between the deeds, because there's a lot of like not niceness over there. Kind of work from the top down, you know? Dig and shape the land between the two deeds. Probably put a nice little path between them. And then it looks like we're going to need... it looks like the rock under here is going to be a problem. So we might put... I kind of like the idea of a natural sort of slope. But I also want to optimize the amount of space I have in this region over here. So I'll keep a few tiles of this area sloping gently. And then move this road over. We'll see what the rock looks like. And I'm willing to do some surface mining here to get it to be just right. But what I want to do is maximize the area on this level. On the level that I'm on here. You know, currently it's only, what, 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles long, or 4 tiles wide. And then there's this other landing right here. And then I also kind of want to dig down this area here. Totally, like, just dig it right down. And I will consider this ramp here, potentially moving it. Potentially making a ramp down the side. Oh boy, this is going to be big. You know, all those people who say, you know, I want fresh new land. I don't like this terraform stuff already. Well, guess what? All you have to do is imagine what you want your place to look like as sort of like a sculpting away of this land. Like how a sculptor would look at a piece of rock. The rock has all these rough edges and flat parts and stuff, and you want to make this nice land to build on. So yeah. There's a ton of work to do. A ton. There's going to be a lot of digging. Okay, sorry, I haven't also been keeping up with the comments here. So Celly is the best server. Yes, you know, I visited Celebration a couple times. It is nice. I was gone for a few months. This is D. Drossler. I was gone for a few months, but I'm back, and finally it's so nice. Yes. Celebration. Celebration is one of the newer servers. Like Xanadu's the newest, but I guess Celebration came in not too long before that, along with release. I am the yo-yo master of Celly. I need to keep up my reputation. Oh, you have your own island on release. Da-da-da. 57 yo-yo skill. That's quite impressive. Let me see. Did I miss anything up here? No. Okay. I think I've read all that. The fact that I'm living on Xanadu was one of the main reasons I grinded to 80 meditation, so I can ride disposable horses around to places and just teleport home. Ah, disposable horses, I see. Yeah, it is a good way of traveling. That's for sure. What do you guys think about the new priest announcement that you're going to now be able to teleport or summon characters? So that's an extra way of sort of teleporting. I can log on my Vin priest and summon Griffith wherever he is. Pristine and release. Oh, right, Celebration. I mixed that up with Pristine. Celebration is the one that's south of Exodus. Is that right? Yes, Celebration. That's so a lot of my alliance members came from Celebration. So Kilroth is the leader of the alliance here. along with a whole lot of people who came with him from Celebration. And they've been here ever since, I think. Anything exciting happened since the Wagoneer update? Yeah, actually a lot of things exciting. Where to begin? So the Wagoneer update happened after the highways, right? And that would have been around the time that we stopped streaming or recording the last time. And we took a 6-month break. And in those 6 months, they added the new rendering, the renderer. Like the whole game looks, just the look of it is so much nicer. They added the normal maps and specular maps on all the tiles. So, things look kind of bumpy. So I don't know if you can see that. It's probably because the sun is not shining in the right way, but the ground looks bumpy. The trees are all bumpy, and they look nice and textured. They added the ability to place stuff on stuff. Yeah, there it is. I saw that we could put stuff on tables. Yes, stuff on stuff. That is opens up the whole world of of decorating. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to start with bashing this building, extend the deed, and then we're going to start with some digging right after that. Najo does not accept that action. Alright. So we'll do that. So Revnik, you had the original deed on Celebration at Dragon Skull Bay. That's cool. I don't know where Dragon Skull Bay is. I'm not too familiar with Celebration, to be honest. But you guys are, so you guys probably know what Revnik's saying. Yeah, it just started up again yesterday. Oh, awesome. So what made you come back? Was it the announcements of all the changes that they're going to be doing for PvP, or the priests, or is it because of the updates that you've decided to come back? Yeah. Yeah, I did get all those servers mixed up. So Pristine and Released were added into the game before Xanadu. They were disconnected from the other servers, so you had, let's see here, let's look at the map. You had Independence, and that was the only server for a while. And then they added Deliverance and Exodus. So when I started the game with Brian, those were the 3 servers on Freedom. So Chaos was also there. This is one of the oldest servers, and it's gone through a whole bunch of changes, but I think it was Chaos first, then Independence, and those 2 were the 2 servers for a while. You had the PvP server and the PvE server. Then they added Deliverance and Exodus at the same time. There's a massive land rush. Celebration opened shortly after we had, planted the puzzles deed and we were playing and building that labyrinth. They opened up Celebration. I'm trying to remember when Epic got opened. Was that before Celebration? So there was Deliverance, then Exodus, then Epic. Hey, Catnip, how's it going? I usually get overwhelmed with life, so I've been on a few months, then disappear for a few months, but I'm always come back at some point. Yes, that's sort of how I seem to go with this too. I'll disappear for a bunch, come back for a bunch. Yeah. So let's see. We are going to bash this wall. Let's see. How is this bashing actually working? Oh, goodness. And I suppose that's just because it's off deed. I could probably build a catapult and throw stuff at it, but... Huh. Do I have a catapult? I have my wagon over there for when we start digging. I think I might have a catapult. Or is it just gonna, like, I always debate this. Like, it's only how many walls? Is the catapult actually going to, you know, save me time? Battle ram. Build a battle ram. They're much better than catapults. I've never built a battle ram, and I haven't used it before, so that would be a whole learning experience. I don't need this window right now. I don't need that one. I see. A ram will do 20 damage hit to a wall. Okay, so Revnik. Am I crazy, or does anybody remember Epic was supposed to be on a reset schedule, like someone or group wins by doing tasks? And yeah, you know what? Yeah, talking about resetting every 6 to 8 months. Yeah, I heard that was the story too. But the original plan with Epic was that somebody would win and it would reset the whole thing, and it would be some sort of PvP game that lasted months. I think that got changed, though. It's just that over the course of months and people's investments, and I think there was... you know, the thing about this game is that the developers definitely have to keep their player base in mind. It's the type of game where if they make a bad change, it could really, really hurt, you know, the population. People would just get so angry and leave. So I can imagine that if back then, when Epic was actually quite popular and there was a lot of people playing on Epic, if they decided to do a wipe, I have a feeling they might be afraid that a lot of players wouldn't come back. You know? Someone once hired me to catapult basically entire stables off deed so we can make a garden. It took me 10 hours, but looked good after. Huh. So a ram will do 20 damage. So is it worth it? Let's see, how much damage am I doing here? Oh, I'm doing horrible damage. Okay. Let's go build a battle ram. I'm willing to try this. And then I'll have one for, you know, those fences up there. Ram. How hard are they to make? Battering ram, there it is. A wooden beam, a nail, small wheel, rope. Okay. And a battering ram head. And a battering ram head is just iron. Okay. We could do this. Of course, everything in this game takes forever. And one thing about this stream, you know, in general, we, for the longest time, were so worried that, you know, Wurm wouldn't stream very well, or you couldn't record Wurm and what you do and how you play Wurm very well. And we've experimented over the many, many years that we've been streaming with, you know, how much can we just push it in terms of, let's say, just playing Wurm and putting that on our videos. Like, for example, we'll go out and just dig. In this episode, we're just going to go collect some clay. And then we do the whole episode, and the only thing we would have done in the whole episode is dig clay and put it into our boat. And we would do that for like an hour and a half. And people, you know, you guys just watch it. And you know what? I find that when I'm watching streams and somebody's just digging away or terraforming or something or mining a wall, as long as they're actively talking about stuff, I am totally engaged with it. Especially if they're talking about strategies and tips and what they're thinking about when it comes to making certain decisions. You know? Man, I'm sitting here playing Wurm, watching you and listening. You could do whatever, and I'll still watch. Yeah, totally. So I got to the point where, I was just telling Brian, we should just whatever. Like, we should just turn on the stream. These. Oh, here's the backup lag, or is it backup lag time? Yeah. So you can just turn on the stream and just do whatever. It doesn't have to be, anything all that fun. And we should just focus on talking about things. So there's that lag that you guys probably are referring to when it comes to this sort of stuff. Lagadoo. Yeah. Let's see. I missed a bunch here. You need to call some of the servers. Okay, yeah. That's back to the server stuff. You know what? That's a topic that we could talk about more in depth. I want to talk about that one with Brian in terms of like what to do with the servers now that they're the way that they are. All right, so I'm gonna fire up my forge and I'm gonna make that battle ram head. And while this is heating up the iron, I'm just gonna go collect all the other materials for the battle ram. Battle rams can be used by a single player, right? Like, I don't need two or more players to use the battle ram, right? Is your name from Berserk? No. This name is just a name I made up. Like Griffith, are you talking about? I made that up as a character, one of my first or second maybe WoW character. Yeah, thanks, Cave Surfer. I love talking about Wurm. I love talking, about all the little details, all the little things that I'm thinking about, because there's just so many. A lot of times I'll jot down notes. I might have said this before. Like, I'll jot down... how many can I fit in here? Oh, there, okay. I'll jot down notes if I think about something interesting. It never really translates, though, because I think that if I come up with an idea in my head and I'm in the middle of talking about it, it sort of comes out a lot more fluid than when I jot down some notes and then later I read that note and try to remember what was it that I was thinking. Maybe my notes just aren't clear enough. Okay, you just can't queue up Battle Ram. Okay. Actually, you two guys is one of the reasons I returned to Wurm when I have been away for some time. That's very nice to hear. I'm glad that we inspire you to continue work, coming back to this game, because I think this game is worth coming back to every single time I come back to it. And I mean, like, I wouldn't say I ever leave it. I wouldn't say I ever leave it, but I definitely take breaks. All right. Here's something that I can't stand about this window is that I can't go back. I cannot go back to a previous thing that I was looking at. Battle. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Search. Okay, battle. Nope. Ram. There we go. Battering. That's what it is. Battering. Not battle ram. Okay. I need a small wheel axle. Okay, so let's make some shafts and planks. Or, no, you know what? I think I am prepared. I do have some shafts and planks. And a wooden beam. Okay, perfect. So let's take some shafts. Let's take some planks. I have some cedar. Okay, the wooden beam is going to be the starting. So one of the last pieces that I can put in a log or wooden beam to determine the wood type. Okay, so yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Birchwood is fine. So let's make some wheels. Small wheel. I'll make 2 wheels. Revnik, you come back. You know what? I think I've noticed that pattern. Every time we come back, you come back. That's awesome, though. Like this game, there's something about it where you can just get back into it, and you know. So I see you guys go live or see a YouTube video, and I'm like, damn, Wurm's fun. Yeah, I want to play. Yeah. It's so awesome to have you try all the new stuff and testing things in real thrill. Yeah. I do like doing that. You know, one thing I want to do that for is the cooking system. It's been so long that it's been in, and yeah. I wish this crafting window worked the way I wanted it to. So I have the keybind for adding something to the crafting window. And when I press that keybind, it seems like it's just putting that keybind here. Oh, sorry about that. You are spamming caps, and Nightbot does not like that. I added Nightbot, but without really doing any of the, setup for it. And so, let's see. It must be under spam protection, excess caps. Let's get rid of that. I trust you guys to be civil in here. Excess emotes, let's disable that. Links, I want you guys to be able to link stuff. Like, in the last stream, people were linking to me, screenshots and stuff. I think that was good. Excess symbols. Let's see. Blacklist word phrases. I don't even know if I can set those. Oh, there's like no blacklist words. Alright. The rule is you guys be civil, and I won't blacklist you. Okay. So you should be able to do that now. Lots of caps. Yeah, cooking. Yeah. I have been doing a bunch of cooking stuff. For sure. And I figured out some things. I'm definitely not a pro. Hey Buddha, how's it going? Random cooking is good fun. Just throw things in a cooking container and lore till you get something fun. Yes. Yes, we could do... That would be awesome to just do on the show. Especially since I don't have that many recipes. I sort of stick with the same recipe over and over again. But I do have a food storage bin full of random food, and I could just try randomly throwing in and make some stuff up. Yeah. Yeah, I figured the blacklist stuff, I figured that that's what it would be, so... I kind of want to just play it like, we've never had any issues in our chat before. And if we do have issues, then the ban hammer comes down. But I don't think we will. Okay, let's see here. Small wheel axle. And I do need to finish that other small wheel, so I'm going to need some more planks. And shafts. Here we go. Whoops. Well, I guess I do need a shaft in there too. Yeah. Wurm is one of the friendliest communities out there. There are, exceptions. There are exceptions. Oops, I need planks. That's what I need. So yeah, I was complaining about this. Although it's working now. You see that? Oh, something's weird. Anyway, it's using the keybind for putting stuff into the crafting window. And how if I have, let's say, planks, and then I go to put in a small wheel, and it's working now. But then I put in a small wheel, and then I put in planks, and it's working. See how it's working? Was not doing that before. It was kept replacing the same one over and over again. So let's see if it works now. Okay, so yeah. Maybe it just knows what I want now. that's another thing I'm worried about. Because I've skilled up my cooking so far using the old system of cooking. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, I see it now. So yeah, since I skilled up my cooking in the old system, I don't have no idea how you would skill up anymore. Is it still the same with like tons of pans and you just make meals? Is that going to work? Has anybody tried that? Pan filling and just making a ton of... just a ton. Okay, I need 10 wooden beams. I need some large nails, 5 of them. 3 logs. Boy, okay, this thing's going to be heavy. Okay, so let's start with let's make sure we have logs. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I already have the logs. Okay, and I need wooden beams, so 10 wooden beams. Let's do those. So you can pan fill corn to fried corn. And then pottery fill that to fried corn into breakfast. Ah. I see. And does this work all the way up? Like, you know, it used to be that you could just make meals and that would take you from 1 to 99. But now with like how difficulty works, do you have to find the right meal or the right cooking recipe thing at the right skill sort of thing? I don't know these answers, which is why we haven't done the cooking episode yet. We have so many questions about it. I did spend time answering my really most desired question, and that was, how do you make affinity food? So I sort of figured out how to do it. I don't need any more than that. I sort of figured out how to do it, but I still don't know the mechanics behind it. And some people were telling me that if you understand the mechanics behind how the affinity food works, then you will have a better time knowing how to, adjust the recipes to get the desired result. But what I figured out how to do is to just follow the online recipe maker. And it seems to work, so it's kind of fun to get affinity food. Okay, let's see here. I got my wooden beams. I got the logs. I have the small wheel axle. Now I just need ropes, large nails, and the battering ram. Yeah, so that's definitely something that I'm going to go through on the episodes. On one episode, we'll sit down with cooking, and I'll show you how to use that online thing. I'm still not 100% on it, but here's one thing that you can do to get prepared for it, because you can't just use that thing and expect to have all the materials that it needs. Because what am I doing? I want nails. Yeah, you need to have a large variety, because your recipe might call for pumpkins, and unless you have pumpkins in the pantry, you're not going to be able to do it. Oh, I needed 5 of these. I needed rope, which is going to be in this one. See, I have 2 bins that are for all the random bits. These are my 2 random bins. Yeah. What was the other thing I needed? The battering ram head. Whoops. I really do hope this particular window gets an overhaul. I really wish I had the ability to go back and forward between my previously searched things. Okay, so let's find out how much iron it takes to make a battering ram head. Okay, so here it's doing it again, so I'm not crazy. So I go to add the iron into my crafting window, and then I go to add the large anvil into my crafting window, and it replaces the iron. Whereas I think it should be a simple switch as like a simple change where it should just alternate, right? I don't know. Okay, let's do this, and let's do this, and battering ram head. You know what? I'm getting to that point where I think I need to increase the font size here. My eyes are just not the way they used to be. Small anvil, of course. You see? My eyes are not what they used to be. There we go. Just need one. I see it. And I think, one second, we have somebody else here with us. And of course, it's all messed up.
Somebody.
Hey, Faye.
Say battering ram.
How's it going?
Doing pretty good. How's everybody here?
Can everybody
on
hear?
This, stream?
Yeah.
Am I coming through?
I think you are. Because it looks like
That's
that for
good
me.
to know. What's going on? I feel
I
haven't played in so long.
I know. I am making a battering ram so that we can test out this new tool to bash stuff.
You're testing out a battering ram to bash stuff.
Well, here's the thing.
Sounds good.
We got a couple buildings on the deed or on the deed's perimeter, and we want to get rid of those. So I'm sitting there with the maul, doing about 3 damage per maul hit, and I figured
You might as well do something else.
might as well do something else because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, so hopefully, I don't know, why are we bashing a house?
Well, it's on the deed. I mean, it's in the deed's perimeter, and it's preventing us from extending the deed. So, yeah.
I see.
So let's see here. So Feyran, we had set this time, and
Yes.
you were busy with something, or couldn't come.
That's correct.
So we had the option.
It, so.
Yeah, and now I'm hosting it. So we had the option of me starting and you joining afterwards, or we could just delay for another hour, which we didn't want to do.
I'm glad that I'm able to come on now. And now that you're hosting it, I can literally do whatever I want, and no one will even know what's going on. I was hoping to do something like this. So battering ram.
Mm-hmm.
What does it start with? Can I start it out?
So it's actually already built. It's an unfinished battering ram, sitting on the floor in front of my forge.
I see. So you already created it. So
And I'm
now
adding
all I have
items
to
into it.
do.
So are you here? I don't see you.
Now I have to relearn, how to get places.
I did make this
Right, let me
place
just-
kind of like a maze, eh?
And thanks, cave server. It
Ah,
nothing went
yes,
off.
thanks.
So
Yeah.
are you not? Did you forget to add alerts to your scene?
Maybe I did. You want to help walk me through that? While
Yeah,
we're-
just add another
add an
another
element.
source.
Add another
Yeah.
source. Okay, yeah.
It should just be called alert box.
Ah, I see. Widgets.
Yeah, place it somewhere.
Widgets, okay.
Yeah,
Add source.
that's it. That's it.
Okay, and is it
You want
like
to test it? There should be a test button.
You know what?
there.
Actually, there's an existing alert box. Should I just use that because you probably did some stuff to it, eh?
Yeah, that's fine.
Although I have two here that are both named alert box, so I'm just going to randomly pick one of them.
Wonderful.
And it's up in the top left. Let's put it in the center here.
There should be a test button.
Okay.
It'd be pretty simple to
And in the
Test
properties,
just at the bottom somewhere of the window.
test widgets. Ah, there it is. Okay, so that's for the donations. What about for the bits? Bits should look like this. Although,
So here's
D.
the thing.
Drossler tried a 1-bit cheer and it didn't go. Thank you, by the way, for trying that.
Here's the thing. I'm even
Cave
when I was
Surfer.
doing it. Even when I was doing it, for some reason the bits alert. Oh,
Yeah, came up. Thank you, Cave Surfer,
thank
for
you
that
so
200-bit
much, man.
cheer.
It worked.
It worked.
It worked.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't actually hear the alerts or the
Right.
sound.
Now
I'm
you
on
get
the
to
wrong
experience
side.
this the other way around.
the way that you always experience these things, eh?
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay. So are you here? Are you close?
all right. I am like on my way in the sense that I don't know which way. So I'm on my way somewhere. I think
Okay,
this
well,
is the right way.
I'll wait
I
for
don't
you
know.
here. And by the time you get here, this battering ram will have been done. There's a bit minimum.
Don't
Oh.
even need.
Okay, maybe there's a bit minimum. Let's see. Can we change that?
Wait, are you at Factional Fight Village?
I am at Factional Fight Village.
Oh,
And I am by my forge.
so here I am trying to find our new village.
Right. Well, I had to come up to get all the
Where
materials, you know
pretty
how it
much
is.
Where I started. That's
Okay.
wonderful.
And once that is in there, I can queue up these 4 nails. Thank you, Da for that 100-bit cheer. You guys are
Alright,
awesome.
So what? Yeah, what is this? Fine carpentry to make a battering ram?
Is it fine carpentry? Is that why this is going so poorly for me?
Luckily, I have a little bit of fine carpentry.
Nope,
skill
it
here.
it does look like carpentry only. Oh, never mind. There is a fine carpentry tick here.
Let's take a look.
I am in a basement. And you know, we are just beginning the process of finishing this basement. So We're gonna have to get creative with where I can record while that's happening.
You can literally just turn it on, and the background doesn't really matter.
True, but what matters is the house ambiance,
The house ambiance.
i.e., kids and TVs on and all sorts of other stuff.
See.
So I have to figure out
where am I looking? What am I doing here?
Okay, so
see.
Let's see what is left. There's only the small wheel axle, which I put here somewhere, didn't I? What did I do with that small wheel axle?
It's in the cart. No, it's not in the cart.
Could have sworn I put it in the
In
wagon.
your inventory?
Oh wait,
Did you need two?
it
I feel
might
like
have
you need
needed two. It might have needed two. Okay, and then there are
I'm
logs.
putting in some logs right now.
You know what? Let's make the last log. Don't put it in all three. Let's make the last log.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I'm not even sure what I should do here. I'm just gonna run over there, bring the mats by hand. So, see how this is kind of one thing that I want to resolve when we make our new village, where we're running back and forth between, workstations, and I kind of want to
put
make
in the wooden beams.
Okay, that sounds like a plan. I kind of want to make the new place sort of more optimal. You know what I mean? Where the things that are being stored are being stored in places that make sense. I don't know if that makes sense.
In what, like, you just want everything next to you?
Sort of. That's not even a full
How would
cedarwood.
you accomplish something like that?
Right. That's the question.
One
How do you-
crafting building that does everything?
It's not even one crafting building, but where everything is stored in a way that you don't have to be running all over the place to go get it.
How is the permission systems in now when you have to, let's say you have an open concept house.
All right, K server, have a good night. I know our time is way off for streaming for a lot of people, mostly those of you who are in Europe. But it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for joining. And I guess, you were here longer than I was, which is more than I can say.
Yeah.
Sorry,
what were you saying?
Yeah, how's the permission systems here these days? If you had an open concept house, there would be no way anyone could touch anything. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah. I think that is true.
So I'm almost thinking that it should be one house for everything.
Okay.
And I almost feel like it should be on, let's say, the second floor.
Oh, what was I doing there? So you left one wooden beam there?
Wait. I thought you said log.
I know, I put it in the log. I'm an idiot. I'm like running around like a chicken without a head right now. I know what I could do. I'll make the wheel
I
axle.
left one wooden beam out if you're wanting to choose a specific wood type.
Okay.
And did you want me to make the wood axle?
Sure. that might help.
All right.
I'll bring some shafts and planks to you. And hope that
Do
it's
we have
enough.
shafts and planks?
We do.
All right. Guess I'll just wait for you. So then, my idea would be
Okay.
have everything on a second level, like a crafting building of every single type.
Okay. On the second level?
On the second level.
Okay.
Or third. Well, doesn't matter which actual level, but like the second floor. Now on the bottom level, it's like completely open. It's the open concept, every direction. And then the very middle, there would be ramps, like a donut
Okay.
of ramps going up to that level.
Like ramps as in... Okay, so the house would have to be a donut.
Correct.
Okay. So make a big donut house with ramps on the inside leading up.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And maybe like a bridge across the center of the donut?
The ramps would be in the middle as the donut, in the middle of the donut, leading to the crafting area.
Are you making a wheel axle? No.
No, I didn't even realize you dropped the stuff in there.
Okay. I'll hold on. I'll just make it.
Okay.
I'm back to being all bugged again. Oh, there we go. Okay, small wheel. I'm not sure.
Okay. And then
About-
around it would
Okay.
be like all of the... Like around it would be all of... I don't know, the crafting areas. You can make it open concept if you want. You can put, you know...
Buddha, you tell us if that's possible. aren't you supposed to know these sorts of things? That's a good question, though. If you do have a donut house with a 3x3 in the middle,
Yes, you should be.
could you put a 1x1 in the middle there? I think
going to say yes.
You think so?
Now, why would you want to?
I can see how you can then, like... Yeah, I don't know why you'd want to. But it would make an interesting...
Maybe if you made like a larger hole and you made the house, let's say 2x2.
I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Actually, I don't know why you'd want to do that either.
A 3x3 in the center means that the whole thing has to be minimum 5x5.
It would look cool though.
What? Yeah, I guess so. Would you make the house 2 tiles thick? So it would be like 7x7? It would be this massive big square, 7x7.
It would have to be a massive big square.
Yeah. So for this deed, I'm kind of thinking more quaint. Like, for example, you can have like a storage building that's like a 2x2 storage building, and then beside it is the carpenter's building, and next to it is like the blacksmith, and they're in this little square facing each other or something like that. You know, where it isn't one big massive building.
Like it would still be a little bit of a walk to each area, or are you talking?
Yeah, but I mean, a couple tiles between each building, sort of, kind of walk.
If you took every single crafting, you know, ability in this game, and you boiled it down to, let's say, 4 buildings, could you do that?
That's a good question. Can you whittle down?
Could you make 4 buildings and have it cover everything?
Okay, so one of the
you'd ever wanna
buildings
do?
would have to be storage. One of them would have to be sort of like this all-in-one smithing building. And then you would need another one that's like an all-in-one carpentry.
Would you have to do like a leather / cloth tailoring building?
Definitely. I definitely need a cloth tailoring setup, and I know you'll probably would want a place where all the leather is. That makes
Right.
sense, in my opinion, to combine those.
Is that enough for one house?
Is that enough for one house?
Now, I mean, maybe we're thinking wrong. I think a lot of people think this way in like uh, separating the buildings for different professions. But instead, does it make more sense to separate the buildings in the types of items that you create?
Like, give me an example.
Give me an example. Okay, so let's say you wanted to be the person that created horse gear.
Okay.
So you build a building. It's the horse gear building where you create, let's say, saddles, bridles. So we're talking leather. But then you also have to create horseshoes. So now you're into blacksmithing.
I see.
So they pair together.
So
you wouldn't want to like walk to one building and then walk to the other building to get that job done.
I don't think that we'd want to go that far.
How about compass making? You would create a compass making building.
I think definitely smithing should be its own building. So anything related to smithing should be in there. If you were doing something that it was like a compass,
isn't that like 40% of every single crafting?
But see, this is right. So if you could take smithing and combine it with carpentry, like those are pretty much like what we're doing right now is a good example where you would need smithing and carpentry together. Yeah.
So you feel that makes sense? We're just going to blindly say smithing building and carpentry building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there. Or
make sure
do
that those
you put more thought into what we actually want to accomplish? And tailor our buildings to.
Yeah, I don't know. Your internet is seemingly to having issues. One thing Feyran was mentioning earlier was that his internet keeps going out. So, although I think I have it set up so that if he does come back, he should just come back. So that should be okay. My ideas on this in terms of, whether or not we would want a building that was tailored specifically to just the outputs. Like having one building that's designed specifically for horse stuff. And in that building, you would have to have a whole smithing setup. See, now I'm sort of thinking about it and getting his idea, like kind of letting it simmer a little bit. I vote for a compass making building. Yeah. But if you did have, let's say, okay, so here's an example. I do have a horse breeding sort of area. And I've often thought I should just put a forge in there and put a whole bunch of branding irons in there and then have a setup, where there's wood ready to go into the... Oh, welcome back. Okay,
I'm here.
So your idea is sort of simmering on me. Like, I'm just sort of like letting it absorb. So it would be like... So I'm giving an example of the horse pens over here where I breed. I was thinking of putting a forge there with branding irons and, have a wood set up so that I can light the forge and heat up branding irons just for that area. Because as it is, I'd have to come back to this forge that's in my workstation here every single time that I want to get a branding iron. So what your suggestion, I guess, is that you have like a station that's like horse gear station. And that would include a forge that might have access to a whole bunch of iron, and then you can make horseshoes there and imp those horseshoes with all the equipment that's there. Is that sort of the take I'm getting? Or are you gone again? You're gone again. Well, in any case, we have the battering ram. Let us hope that it gets loaded onto here. Don't tell me it doesn't load, though. Uh-huh. Right. The battering ram probably gets dragged. Is that why I put 2 wheel axles on it? There it is. Okay. Oh, goodness. Worm, worm, worm. Why do I love thee so, and yet you torture me with dragging battle rams going 2.7 kilometers per hour? Okay, while I have all this time in the world, I can look over here at the comments. Yes, you can have a 1x1 house in the middle of a 3x3 donut. You know, I did think about a situation that we had on Chaos where we did build a donut house and then inside there was another house. So yes, I do recall that. And then Buddha's telling us how we might do that with bridges. Okay. Then a 1x1 in the middle to connect a T of bridges. Okay, that would look cool. Pro tip, get a Hoda statue for pens. Keep branding iron in them. Yes, Hoda statues could do that. I do have a whole bunch of Hoda statues over here. To be fair, someone earlier said to make it where you need it since you can't load it. Oh, somebody did? You know, yeah. I probably should have been reading the comments. Let's see. I'll pick up all this stuff later. Does that make me go faster? Nope. I'm under my weight, I think. I can hold 112 without losing a step. That's awesome. I didn't know it was that high. If somebody did say to make it where you're going to use it, I do wish I was reading the comments. It would save me. Let's scroll up and say, yeah, you're supposed to make it near the building. Oof. We warned him. Yes. Oh, it's because Feyran came in and I got all distracted by the UI and everything. That's what happened. Okay. I mean, even if I did make it down there, there would still be the issue of bringing it all back up. Anyway, I think that it should be loadable. That's my opinion. Welcome back.
Hey, I came back just in time. I hear you blaming me for something.
I wasn't blaming you for anything. I was blaming myself for not reading the comments well enough because our audience here was being so nice to let us know that we should be building the catapult or the battering ram next to the building because we can't load it. So now I'm dragging it down to the building at
Where are you now exactly?
I'm on the road that's on the south of our deed, and I'm heading west towards the water.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And 345 ABCD AB okay says, I remember dragging my first cart. I backed up against a wall on a walled bridge and I never got it out. All right. That happens to us all the time.
A first cart story. You remember our first cart?
I do remember our first cart. If I remember correctly, it was a small cart.
It was a small cart, and at the time, you wouldn't be able to lock your carts. There was.
And we lost him again. I hope he resets his modem this time. Oh, do we have you back? No. I barely remember that small cart. Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Yep, you're back.
Oh my god.
Boy, good thing you're not streaming tonight.
I'm very happy you're hosting this right now. I think my internet's gone out 6 times.
You might need
something
reboot,
like that.
Reboot of the modem or something.
And I've rebooted the modem twice.
Okay.
So I don't think it's quite the modem. How quickly can I get through this cart story? What's everybody else's first cart story? Summary: somebody stole it. We logged out one night, logged in the next day, and somebody took our cart. And that was it.
It was that
Goodbye, our first ever cart.
I think you were able to lock it. It was that we didn't lock it.
You were. It didn't come as default.
Right. It doesn't come with a lock by default. You had to make a lock, and we didn't. Right.
We did not have any idea at that time. I just wish I knew who stole the cart.
Ooh, and now that you're back,
It'll be a... There you are.
I completely forgot. I had beer lined up, and I put it in the fridge.
Beer lined up. Okay, yes.
Because we have a fridge now in our basement. It's going to be our new fridge down here. And I put my beer in it, and then I forgot to bring it out before I hit the stream button.
You just really want to get some... you just really want to go drink some beer.
For sure.
All right, I can continue this.
Well, once we get this all lined up, I'm sure that the timer's not going to be that quick.
Well, does everybody else have their own first cart story? Looks like what, Alex? Is your first cart story stealing someone else's cart? Did you steal our cart on delivery? That would be something. That would be it. Like,
we lost Brian again, but we do have an interesting story about stealing a boat. Our first boat that we ever stole. Yeah, you're back. Did you figure out the button to press?
No, it's just going in and out. Funny enough, the last 2 times I
was just about to talk about the boat. Sorry?
The last 2 times that the internet went out, your voice continued.
Oh, okay.
I didn't lose you.
That's interesting.
I lost everything else. So far so good, actually.
Okay, so I clearly don't know how to use a battering ram. We might have to drag it. I tried that already, and it was a 30-second timer, and it ended with it not doing any damage. Now, while you're figuring out that, I am going to... Actually, we're off deed, right? So we don't have to add a permission for you or anything like that. Read the event messages.
You have to read the event messages.
Okay.
And instead of listening to that, I'm not going to read the event messages. And I'm just going to do this.
You swing the beam on the battering ram forward. The beam of the battering ram hits nothing. Material stone. You see a wall. Okay, that's when I examine it, right? Material stone. Okay.
Wait, you have to wait 30 seconds before anything will be read?
I'm not sure. Feyran swings the beam on the battering ram forward and hits a stone wall. And you didn't do any damage to it.
It says deals less damage than you expected.
Oh, I see. No, might it have something to do with how low quality this battering ram is? Maybe
What's
it
the
needs a
quality of
little
this battery RAM?
28 or something.
Alright. Is there a tree that I can cut?
Yes, all of the trees on this deed you can cut.
All of the trees. Okay.
All of the trees.
That is at least a couple of them. Let me find a nice linden tree to destroy here.
Alright. Yeah, the RAM quality is 28. So it might need a little bit of love.
Let's see if I can get it up to 50. Wait, what should I be aiming for here? For a half decent battering ram.
I mean, I think that you probably could get it to 50 within maybe 3 or 4 imps. That's my guess.
No.
Okay, let's more realistically say I'm going to guess 10 imps. 10 imping actions and you'll be at 50. Okay, so it did about 4 damage.
We're
That
at
one.
28.
So you're going to work your magic. And let's see. Let's count the imps.
That's one.
One brought it up to 31. Oh, that was not as much as I thought it would be.
No. Here's two.
It might be one of those things that's like a slow imp.
Here's three.
Yeah. It's definitely going to take more than 10.
Here
that's for
comes
sure.
number 4.
Deals less damage than you expected is just if you're failing the skill check. Ah. So this is
Here's
one of those
5.
things where those ruins, those new ruins, if I apply it to the battering ram, it'll make it so that I have a better chance at succeeding. Is that right? I think on the last stream it took me a while to figure that out, but I eventually figured it out. Okay, I'm going to go get that beer now. You keep imping, and I will be right back.
I'm going to keep counting, because that's riveting. Streaming here. 7, this is 8.
Alright, and I'm back. And Feyran is gone. He's probably still in the game imping. Well, we'll see. And I will just keep ramming. And while I have it here, I will share what I am going to be drinking with you. It is from these guys named Lake of Bays. I don't know if you can read that. Lake of Bays Brewery. This one, I actually visited the brewery maybe 2 years ago, out in the middle of cottage country. They're on this little town's, named Lake of, I think the town is called Lake of Bays. It's on the main street of the Lake of Bays. A really tiny little town in the middle of cottage country, and they have a nice patio, friendly staff, and great beer. And this one here, it's called Sparkhouse Ale. And you see that there's a tower. There's a tower, an image of a tower on there. I don't know if you can see it. There's the top of the tower. And it's an actual tower that overlooks the town of Lake of Bays. And you can climb up it to the top, and we did. This one here is it's a red ale. I'd say that ales are probably one of my favorite beers. Yeah, the new ruin would work on this. Yeah, that I think. Now that I understand how those ruins work, I can see a lot of uses for them. Alright. You know what? This carpentry, this is fine carpentry, isn't it? Let's see. Yeah, it's fine carpentry. Well, I'm out. I can't imp past 44 on fine carpentry. Yeah, you're back. This is going to be fun. So, hopefully,
That's good.
we can get this thing... So you can hear me. That's interesting. But does the game... like kick you out?
All right, I think this is the last time I'm gonna try. Yeah, everything's gone. For now.
Okay. And if you get kicked out again, then we'll just see you in the chat. Oh, and he's kicked again. Boy, oh boy. You know, it wasn't even the internet issues that had us start with me going solo. It was that he had a whole bunch of stuff going on in the background there. And he had to wait for that to settle down. But it would have been bad if he was hosting the stream tonight. Boy, oh boy. All that time. I have a question. I'm free to move around, right? No? No, I can't reach the battering ram. Okay. I see. I'm not free to move around. And this is going just as slowly as hitting it with a maul. Put a ruin on his router. Yeah. I mean, it would be really nice to get this building down. Whoops. I don't know if you guys saw how my mouse went there. Here, let's remove this. Let's hide Brian's box there. Okay. Yeah, like how my mouse just like shoots up into the sky. I know there was somebody who was reporting this on the forums. And I was trying to follow it just to try to see if I can fix the issue on my end. The issue seems to be if I'm just sort of moving around gently, it will shoot my mouse as if I, move my hand up, but I didn't. Or it'll move it to a completely opposite direction that I was looking. And I tried to do all the things that was recommended, and none of it seemed to work. So yeah. I see, it's taking War Machine's skill. That's the skill that I'm checking. And this is why we're doing so poorly. Because our War Machine's skill is super, super low.
Is that why?
Ah, there you are.
Yeah, I switched over to
your
my
phone. Got it. There we go. That's a solution. So we can hear you.
Yeah, I just can't play. That's all.
Oh, that sucks.
Oh,
we need your imping.
You need my imping, eh?
Well, let's see. I know what I might be able to do.
Well, you never know. Maybe I can pop on and off as my internet goes on and off.
How about... Yeah. Yeah, okay. Let's just play it like that. And if you can, get on.
Essentially just a phone call. Unfortunately, I can't see anything. No chat, no nothing. Just able.
Are you a citizen or ally on that deed? This is off deed. This is off deed. So if you're either, you get decent bonuses to bashing. Right, yeah, if you're a citizen on a deed, you'll get bonuses to bashing. The thing about this building is that it's in the way of us expanding our deed. And it was already decayed to the point where one wall was, like, it has a few walls already decayed. So it's in the perimeter, and I don't know actually who made it. Maybe somebody in our alliance will know who made this, who has the writ for it.
What is it actually called? Meditation Center. Okay.
Meditation Center, yeah. It's possible that there's a love tile in there. Which server is this? This is Xanadu. This is Xanadu.
Yeah, so maybe we could actually have a conversation without me going away and then forgetting exactly what we were talking about.
Right.
I'm fairly certain that one more, and that would be 10 imps on this battering ram.
Okay. One more would be
Alright.
10?
Yeah, so I'm at 10.
Okay. That's pretty close. You're at the 48.6.
Pretty close to 50. Alright, so did anybody say or did anybody mention exactly, is there a specific level that I need to get it to make it so it's half decent?
I don't think anybody
knowing
said.
that our skill is basically 1.
Right. I think the higher the better is probably the rule of thumb. Hey, Reganation, how's it going? I remember using a rowboat from Deliverance to Xanadu when it opened. Yes. That's a long trip on a rowboat. Xanadu has these insane water borders. You know, you zone into Xanadu and the time to get to the shore is like a good 15 minutes. And in a rowboat, boy, can only imagine. And row to the center of Xanadu. Holy. Can you not imp it while I'm using it?
I don't know. I am imping it.
Okay.
Are you using it?
It says I cannot use the battering ram right now because it's being used. But now I'm using it.
Yes,
Can you?
not.
So if you can imp it while I'm
no, I
in,
cannot.
you cannot. Oh, okay.
Now I've gotten it up to 56-ish.
Okay. Well, the wall's
What
up
do you
to
think, Eli?
70
I can
damage.
stop
Or,
somewhere.
okay, so let
Nice.
me finish this ramming action, and then you'll do a few more imps. I think we should just imp it until it starts getting too slow.
Right. I mean, I can always go to 60.
This is a lot of fun. Like I've never used a battering ram.
We did build one for the labyrinth, I believe.
Oh, okay. Did you use it to bash
But
something?
Not to use it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I just put it somewhere.
Right.
So knowing what our war machine skill, mine's at 7.
How did you get yours to 7? Probably all that catapulting you did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did a lot when we first started the game.
Okay.
The first year.
So you should be the
And
one
by
to
a
do
lot,
this.
I mean like 7.
Now, I'm wondering, can I expand over this building, or do we have to bash all of these?
I thought you would have to bash everything.
Let's see. Settlement size to the west. Let's add Let me just survey the area, see where we're at.
Alright.
Okay, so it's coming along here. The building is 2 tiles away from the border. So if I expand it by 4 tiles, it'll let, we'll see. So 19. Okay, that would include this. So why don't we do 20? Whoop. Let's
Well,
do 20.
I think I got it above 60 before internet gave out.
Okay.
I'll have to double check that.
So survey the perimeter. What just happened? Oh, I should be probably looking here. You need to have managed permissions for the structure Fendir's veggies. Yeah. What about if I just go to 19? You need to have managed permissions. Oh, I see. And this is because then the perimeter would go over it. So I can't put the perimeter over this deed. I mean this house. Can I put the perimeter over this house? Huh.
I thought you could put perimeters over houses, but
I can't resize the deed so that the perimeter gets pushed over it, though, it seems. Let's just even go 1. Can I go 1 tile more? And then I survey this area. Yeah. It's not going to let me put the perimeter over. And I won't be able to expand the perimeter because the perimeter can only expand in one direction. I mean, sorry, the
So
perimeter
your
has to
option-
expand in all directions.
your only option is to wait for it to decay or destroy everything.
Yeah. Wait for it to decay.
Even after you destroy all the walls, don't you have to wait a little while before it'll actually go away?
Maybe.
Or is it instant?
Maybe. I wasn't getting any I wasn't getting any notification that I couldn't expand because of this house, the meditation center. So it was continually telling me due to Fendir's veggie house.
I see.
So
And
I
where's
don't know.
that house?
It's, 2 tiles away from the meditation center. So it almost seems like I would be able to expand over the meditation center even before I bash it, because the wall has already decayed. I could be wrong. The problem is that we cannot expand, because if we expand even 1 tile this direction, then the Fendir's Veggie Sea House will get put into our perimeter, and it doesn't seem to want to allow us to do that.
So you need to bash.
No, I think you're right. There's
There's
one
nothing
option.
that you can do.
There's nothing we could do. The one option is we have to wait for it to decay. But it should start decaying quite quickly now. We did check that Fendir. Fendir, let's see. Oh, I'm going the other way.
It was like it should be over 60 days now.
92.
Since, there
Since
you
what?
go.
So, yeah, 92 days. Fendir has been offline for 92 days. And the 3-month mark is the mark that we were told by Buddha is 85 days. Alright. This looks kind of strange that I'm ramming the open archway.
It
Okay,
still
so
works.
back to the idea of like how to organize this deed to optimize things. So like imagine like you walk down like a pathway and there might be like a little square, maybe a 2x2 square, onto which 3 buildings are facing. And those 3 buildings would be, let's say, the most used, like blacksmithing, carpenter, and maybe like a storage house or something like that. And so those 3 houses sort of like work in conjunction with one another. They could even be one house, sort of made to look like 3 separate houses.
When you're talking to get to one to the other, you have to go through that, I don't know, center of the village area.
That might be one way to get from the buildings, but maybe make it so that you can interweave them, so there's multiple ways of getting from one place to another.
Okay. So
But all
what's
the
the
while-
goal of this whole, center square area place?
Just as a place more for aesthetics than anything.
I see.
But also just so it sort of gives like, I mean, the aesthetics part is that it gives like a villagey feel. You know, you're walking down a path and then you get to the end of the path and
Yeah.
there's, sort of like a little shoppy looking area.
Are you wanting to have, talking about a shoppy area, are you wanting to have like a shop? Would
Do I
that
wanna
be
have a
useful
shop?
for you?
Am I even hitting this? No, I
Would
don't think
people
so.
show up?
You mean like a merchant or something?
merchant. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that merchants are
I'm getting the feeling that you want it strictly a crafting area, and I don't know, even how are merchants doing these days, even for like I don't know, like a plaza area where a merchant area. Is that still a popular thing, or are there just too many people spread out too far?
Yeah. I think it's the matter of too many people spread out too far, especially on Xanadu.
Has the market essentially become through the mailbox?
Yeah, pretty much. The mailbox, the Wagoneer system. I mean, that completely replaced everything related to merchants, I think. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know how many people are actually traveling to markets these days, to be honest, but I have a feeling it's a lot less than before. Okay, I cannot get this battering ram to hit this archway. Maybe it's just not designed to hit archways. I'll try it one more time. Let's bring it inside the building. Swing it around. Anybody have any advice for me on how to use this battering ram to hit this archway? I mean, I don't know how else to put it other than I've tried to hit diagonally and hit the pillar. That didn't work. Let's see. Yeah, I feel like markets are completely done. I mean, we saw Puzzle Plaza, and Puzzle Plaza was completely desolate. No merchants whatsoever.
But I cut out there for a little bit, so I heard
that's
Puzzle
okay.
Plaza.
Yeah, Puzzle Plaza, when we went to visit it, it was quite desolate.
It was dead.
Yeah. There wasn't a
So
single...
is anybody saying, our merchant areas still a thing?
Yeah, I don't know. Nobody's saying... I mean, I don't think that... I haven't been to a merchant for a long time. And I do have a merchant placed at a small market that's near Linton. It doesn't really get that much action. We do have a Alliance market nearby. I do have a merchant there. Also, it doesn't get that much business. I did have a merchant up at Glass Hollow for a long time, and the only problem with that was that it was so far away that in order to restock it, it took, like a 2.5 hour drive. So I think that's part of the problem with merchants, is that on servers like Xanadu at least, it's so far to get to any market. And then you have the problem of people just using mailboxes and the Wagoneer system.
I thought at some point there was just many different kind of plazas, some marketplaces across Xanadu.
Yeah.
I would assume it would be like ones closest to the starter towns. Like, and there's so many starter towns, so therefore there would just be so many marketplaces. And really the only one that we know of would be, I don't know, the one that you use. Just because we were really close to it.
Wait, which one are we talking about?
On Xanadu. Either
Linton?
Glass Hollow. Are you on Glass
Hollow.
Hollow? Marketplace?
I mean, I had a guy at Glass Hollow, but I took him away when we moved down here.
Oh, okay. And then, is there a marketplace near us now?
Well, there is our Alliance marketplace. Let's go drive
That's
down
more
there.
specific.
Because, and you can see it, because it is a legitimate market. Like, if somebody pulled up to this market, there's enough wares there that you could go browse them, and there's stuff to buy. Then there's, the guys who made Glass Hollow. They went around to a lot of the starter places. Like Vrock's Landing has a marketplace. Oh, goes my mouse again. And then Linton also has a starter market area, but those are like only a few market stalls.
I see.
So this one here, yeah, I feel like I'm gonna give up on that house. Truly, I think it's way more work than is. I can't get it to the archway. The battering ram doesn't hit the archway. That's the problem. So I'll have to look up to see. Okay, so this merchant has like a couple statues, 50 quality statues, 87 quality mortar and pestles. It's not much left on a lot of these merchants, but there are some that get restocked, and I'm actually thinking of restocking mine. I have a whole bunch of stuff now that I've been working on, casting and stuff. Here's one with some ruins.
Some nice ruins.
I mean, ruins are... I don't know what makes ruins nice, other than... Like, each one has its own uses. Like this one here, it can be attached to an item. It will increase its size by 5% and increase vehicle speed by 5%.
Sounds a nice point.
Yeah.
Yeah, could a catapult have destroyed the archway?
I think so. I thought the battering ram should have, to be honest. I really did. Maybe I'm just not doing it
I
right.
don't think you have to like position it in a specific place.
Well, I tried two positionings. One
side.
was like the way you would position it if it was like a wall. And the other one I tried to position it so it was aiming towards the sides.
Too bad.
Both of those didn't work. But now that I know that I won't even be able to expand it once the building is down, I don't think that it's worth spending the time. We may as well just wait till the other one's decayed. So what I'm going to move on to then is starting to terraform and start digging.
Well, this place is very, I don't know. Does it seem like it's on the side of a mountain or
Yeah.
side of a big hill? Right.
It's not
So
quite a mountain, but
have-
it is the side of a big hill.
there are multiple levels. It was very similar to the first deed that we had on Xanadu. So what
Yeah.
do we call that one? Winter's Night.
Winter's Night.
And I think that place had the issue of it not just being too big, but being too many levels.
Right.
How do we get around that at this place?
So my thinking about getting around that is trying to dig it down as much as possible.
So you start at the top
Start at the top.
and you just dig as much as you can down.
Yeah. Now I started this whole process where I went right up to our deed. So this is in the perimeter of our deed, and started digging this whole area out. And I even want to get it lower than this. I want to dig it lower than that. And then I started digging out the other side, and I don't know if you noticed, but I decided to drop a whole bunch of sand. Specifically so that we could just get a whole bunch of sand. So I'll
Does that
switch
make
to
sense?
digging.
So you're starting to lower right at this level,
Yeah,
right next to factional fight.
right next to factional fight.
Any reason you want to lower this place? Is this on deed or off deed?
So this is
on
off
perimeter.
deed. This is in between the two deeds, the 10
Right.
tile perimeter. The reason why I'm starting here is really only because I think it's the best strategy to start from the top and work our way down. I don't know how you feel about that.
This isn't technically on the deed.
Right.
You're making it so is it going to be harder to get from factional fight village to our other village?
Well, I don't know about harder because the roads are going to be designed so that it would actually become easier. Like the way it currently is actually quite hard to get from one deed to the other. And the main
So what's the
reason is
benefit of
because the
starting here,
huge,
then?
like, I mean, this is the whole benefit of starting here is so that we can design the pathway that leads between the deeds to be most effective and most efficient. Currently, you come down this bridge. I don't know if you can see where I am, but you come down this ramp, and you can't continue straight because there's a massive cliff. But if, let's say, the tile that I'm on was like lowered all the way down, lowered, and then we made a connection somehow so you would be able to get from the factional fight deed all the way down. I mean, it might be one of those things where we build a ramp sort of that goes sideways and does arching towards the sides. I haven't quite decided yet, but I definitely want to shape it so that the pathway from top to bottom isn't so zigzaggy down these one tile ramps that are not even flat. You know,
Right.
I want it to look nice. So
You have some.
do I have an idea of what to do?
How much damage does a bridge get within a
Off
perimeter?
deed. Good question. I don't think it takes all that much damage. Off deed. I mean, you know that murder bridge, for example, has been there for years now.
Mhm.
And I don't think it has all that much damage. I also feel like it's not too difficult to repair it if it is taking damage.
So it's definitely an idea that we could have a bridge, let's say, leading down. Are you wanting it to look nice or be more efficient?
A balance between those two would be ideal, I think. You know, efficient meaning the path between the two deeds should be relatively
As
straight-ish.
short as possible.
Yeah, like not... And efficient as well in the sense that, you know, as you're coming down this path, it should lead you towards sort of like the center most important parts of the deed. So the most important parts will be the places that we would spend most of our time. I almost kind of want it to be a replacement for this factional fight village in terms of what we use it for. Because the way the factional fight village is set up, it's very... I kind of built it without thinking about efficiency.
So what would you use the factional fight village for?
Good question. I'm not sure. I am not sure. You know, this whole thing is almost like a replace.
Possible.
Like we're starting again. You know what I mean?
Fixing your old mistakes.
Fixing my old mistakes.
Alright, so this is... It's going to be all about efficiency, it seems like.
And aesthetics. Trying to merge the two.
Aesthetically efficient. Somehow, if those two things go together.
Another thing that I want to really work on is our decorating skills.
That is definitely something that is lacking. Maybe we can have some kind of... Oh, maybe we could have some kind of goal in mind for decorating. That would probably help us out.
Mm-hmm.
If you have episodes here or there where we're just decorating, that might help us out.
Yep.
Maybe designing it with the decorations in mind before we even build the building.
Okay.
Is that possible now?
I mean, it is possible in the sense that we can sort of imagine what the end product we want it to look like and include all the fancy, like, placing items on top of items stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we'd have to think about it. Is there like a big document, up-to-date document that showcases all the items that you can build?
I think Catspur has on her website. She keeps it updated because she uses it all the time.
Yeah, I think I need something like that.
Yeah, and
and it's tough because when I'm thinking about decorating, a lot of what I'm thinking is not efficiency. it's more aesthetic. It's more, you want to build that library, right? I want to build a room that looks like a library, or I want to build a room that's like a dining hall, let's say.
Sure. I
More
totally
role
think
play, right?
I totally think that those sorts of things should be incorporated in this village. But at the same time,
How do we make that useful?
right, we might have buildings that are not useful, like a library, for example, or a
How do we
room
make
that is a library. But the key would be that the library should not be between, let's say, the carpentry station and the logs.
But
If
then
you know
you'd
what I
never
mean.
go there.
Right. Maybe you would never go there unless you're wandering around the deed, exploring it. You're right. But we shouldn't
So maybe we need to
sacrifice...
concentrate. We need to concentrate on being efficient.
Concentrate on being
On the
efficient.
buildings. Concentrate on the buildings that we'll actually use. And concentrate specifically on how to make them as useful as possible,
Okay.
while as, amazing looking as possible.
Hmm.
So I think to start off, we definitely need to have a plan of what exactly do we want to be doing after the village is done.
Right. Well, is that within mind, like, what do we want to be doing with the village once the village is done? Or are you talking about...
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely want a place where I could have my priests. Maybe one thing I could do is leave my priests on this deed over here and use the priest, use it for my priests, who will take care of the horses, and then on that other deed, on this other deed here, I definitely want to have at least a small farm. Doesn't have to be that big. Maybe even just 50 tiles is enough. And then as well, have a place where I can do my smithing. Make a new smithing. Because my smithery is quite inefficient. Everything is way too spread out in lots of different BSBs. And now with all the new systems in place to like compact all the bulk storage, the problem I faced in that room was that if I compacted all the bulk storage, the room would be empty because I made it so big. Because back then, you couldn't.
You had to do that.
Yeah, you had to do it that way.
You want a small thing.
Yeah, I want to make it smaller, for sure.
I think. So when I rolled on Twilight videos, I noticed that you had your area. Your like nice smithing area, which was quite a large building, and then next to it you had your pre-station because you wanted them to be close.
Right.
So they were in the same building. And then all of my stuff ended up being on the other side of the castle.
Mm-hmm.
A completely opposite side. And so it seemed like it was very tough to do any sort of collaboration. Or it was harder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's say we'd be at your smithery and we'd need to make something together, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I need my logs or something. I don't go all the way back to the other side of the castle, find my items that I needed, and then come all the way back.
Right.
It always seemed to be like that. It never was like you coming to me. You probably always use the excuse, I can't bring my forges with me.
Right. That's exactly why.
Yeah. So, is there a way to make that more efficient, or is there a way to make it more a collaborative village without it seeming like we have to run all over the place? And at the same time, making it look really nice, aesthetically pleasing, like a village. I think in your mind you have that village feel, the old, fantasy style, medieval crafting area.
Right.
How do we get that?
Well, one thing I learned about when making this village was that rooms can be a lot smaller than you originally think. And that roadways between buildings can be a lot smaller than you originally think.
And what are you thinking for buildings or rooms per crafting area? What would be too small? Or what would be your ideal size?
Yeah, I think that a crafting room, the ideal size would be either 2x2 or 2x3. I don't think any more than that.
Could you live with a 2x2 smithing area?
I think so. I think for smithing, though, I might go 2x3. Only because of the amount of ore that I like to have. Like, I like to keep a lot of different quality ores. I'm definitely going to need at least 2 of those BSB racks. So 8 BSBs in total.
Is 8 enough for you?
I think I can go down. I think I can get it to 8. Because I stopped sorting the 99 plus or the 90 plus ore by individual quality. And I sort of grouped them together because what I found was that I more often wanted to imp something to 95. And then if I was going to go any higher than that, I didn't need a 96 quality bin and then a 97 quality bin and a 98 and a 99. So I just sort of averaged them out, and I had a whole bunch. I took from the 98s to the 96s and averaged them out to 97.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a 99 bin. So
do you feel like you get enough 99s now that it doesn't?
Yeah, and that's the other thing.
Need a 98.
Exactly. All of this sort of changed once the imbues sort of came out, and it devalued all the high quality ore. Like, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, you would like cherish every lump of that high quality ore that you got. And now it's not valuable at all. So I feel as though I could just like I just combined a whole bunch of 98s with 96s and lost those 98s. But the reason is because now I can get so many 99s that it doesn't even matter anymore.
I feel very similar with logs.
Yeah.
It was almost impossible. Like I was thinking I should probably level up my woodcutting.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since you gave me that imbued hatchet, I don't think I can get 100. Like I can't really remember 100 quality, but I'm pretty sure I can get 99 quality. And I don't really notice a difference. Like I never get to the point where I need something at 100 quality. So 99 is perfectly fine with me.
Right.
And I can get 99 without anything. I can go out and start chopping down trees, and I'll get a bunch of 99 quality logs, and I can save enough of those, and I don't really have to worry. So I'm never thinking I need to go out and level my wood cutting anymore.
Right. I feel the same way about mining.
Yeah, I finally got it to a point where I'm pretty happy. And you know what? I don't mind that, because at that point I was able to then go to another profession and feel happy about the way that my log situation or carpentry situation is. And I think that's how I managed to do leather working without any issues.
How would you feel if the devs all of a sudden nerfed imbues?
In what way?
Like, let's say instead of getting, so much higher quality than your skill, they like nerfed it to about 1/10 of that amount. So now you're only able to get, let's say, 1.5 quality above your skill. How would you feel about that?
I think that in the end, I would accept it. But it would be a tough sell to all of a sudden take away something that they gave. Now, I'm like with an MMO, I always feel like, yes, there would be a huge tantrum, that there should never be, they should never take anything away. However, they could add stuff that achieves the same result. If that makes sense. So there's a reason why they want to nerf it. So there's a reason why they want to take this away. So they have to say, what is that reason? What could we add to the game that achieves the same result?
Okay, let's try that on this then. So let's say the thing that you might want to get rid of or change is the fact that a person who currently has like 80 some odd mining or 80 some odd can essentially purchase items that makes it so that they can now mine or wood chop 100 quality logs or 100 quality ore.
Can you do that? Can you be 80 skill?
No, I'm not sure of the exact number, but you can essentially put on a ruin that gives you 10% higher quality output. Plus you can imbue. Now I know the imbue numbers are that if you have 100 imbue on a pickaxe, you can get 100 quality ore with 87 mining skill. Or 88 or something in that vicinity. So that means if you have 10% of 80 is 8. So that if you're at 80, then that'll give you 88. And then 100 imbue will allow you to get 100 from there, basically. I'm not sure if it works exactly like that, to be honest.
So Wood is saying 23% at approximately 100 imbue. Okay, so here's a question. So you add the ruin and it's 10% to your base skill. And then you add the imbue. Is that 23% to your base skill, or does that stack with the ruin?
I think even if it's to the base skill, I really think that that's overpowered enough. All right, 3, 4, 5, 6, or Alex it was. Have a good night. I know it's late for a lot of you. But for us, it's only 9:43. So still early.
So let's say it's to the base, both of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you get 8. Let's say you have 80 skill, so you get 8%, and
You get 8. Yeah, 10%, which is 8. Plus another 23%. 23% of 80. I don't even have my phone. This computer has a calculator in it, right?
23%, let's say, of the base skill would be what?
80 times 23% is 18.4.
Oh God.
So yeah, I don't think it matters really exactly what the numbers are, but
The imbue should have been 23% of the gap to 100. So there was a mistake.
Was
that
it a
would make
mistake,
a
or
lot
was
more
it
sense
just
to
that?
me.
Was it a mistake, or was that just what you think it should have been, Buddha?
And you didn't get your way.
And it is too late for that now. And that's what we're discussing. Like, what if tomorrow it got changed to something like this, where it wasn't so crazy? Yeah, you think it should have been the gap?
It should have been the gap. That does make a lot more sense to me. That it should have been the gap. Percentage of the gap. Now, like you ask the question of what would it take to put that back without taking away the imbue,
Right.
or changing it.
Or changing the imbue. How do you take that back? While everybody feels like things are given. You know? Change Yep. Change max quality to 1,000.
I mean, that's definitely one way to do it. But yeah, in that vein, I guess not just increase quality, but add features that make it so quality level becomes just one of the things that you want. Just one of the things that you're there to achieve. Now, I would say that that's a lot more work to achieve that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, adding new features, adding more. Here, let's play out that scenario. What would happen if all of a sudden the max quality was 150?
Okay. Or even 120 or something like that. I think that the issue is still going to be there, where I won't have to get my skill up. I see what you're saying, though.
Now,
Keep the skills to 100.
Instead of calling it just like 120, or let's say you keep 100. 100 is the max level.
Right.
But then they introduce the ability to take that item and make it I want to choose my words wisely. I don't know, like a heroic item, or some kind of way to improve that item above its 100 quality max.
No, I mean, I think that would change a lot about the game in general.
So let's say in order to achieve that, so in order to add, let's say for argument's sake, that they introduce an entire new system that allows you to add, here we go, shininess, effectiveness, durability,
Strength.
like all these things. So it's like you can put it on this special. You can put the items, let's say the tools, on a special a workbench that you've created, and
I see how you worked in that workbenches.
Yes, I love workbenches. I wish we had them right now. And you put the item on the workbench, and you have the ability to make the item more shiny and effective and durable and whatever else that you want to say. But you're not allowed to do those things unless that item is already 100 quality. Or at some kind of max cutoff. Like 97 or 98. And they're like, once the item is that quality, you can add these abilities to make it even better.
I did play Mortal Online, but not enough to really get into the details of how to do stuff. I think we might have played a few hours of it or something.
We did play quite little of it, and I'm pretty sure it was during their beta, which wasn't the greatest experience.
Trying to see if I had tar here, but I don't think I do. I was about to say a moment ago, but the lighting changed. Was that the lighting was at that right moment where you could see all of the normal mapping and specular mapping so clearly. Okay, so you've had like 20 different handle types, 20 different head types, 20 other things, and you combine 3 of those into your final item, and it all has different looks and bonuses, but the same base item. Interesting. Okay, so there was like lots of different variations.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I mean, depending on what all the different bonuses and all that stuff. I mean, you could argue that we have some of that in Wurm with wood types and that sort of thing.
Right.
And with now metal types.
You know how they have all the metal types now, and each metal has different properties than the next metal. So I think what they need to do next is something similar for wood types.
Make each wood type have a few different kind of traits or bonuses.
Yeah, traits, bonuses, decays more or less, or damages more or less, or, some... I mean, it's already there a little bit, right?
Already a little bit. Now,
just like
it's not as... I don't think it's as thought out as the metal bonuses are.
But now that we have a template for how the metal bonuses are, just
that is true.
Get a similar sort of thing going on with the wood types.
Yeah, they should do. I mean, that would be a nice little side bonus, side update. But anyway, so let's say they added this system that would allow you to increase the effectiveness of somewhat of these items, make them into master craftsman, pickaxe. And all of a sudden, the 100 quality isn't as important.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now, they did something like this with cooking. And they did it in a way, well, I don't think there was a lot of people that complained, but they kind of snuck something through. And that was, they took away some of the effectiveness, I believe, of like the stamina.
Like, what do you mean?
And they added it. I don't know, haven't... And I can't remember if this is true or not, but didn't stamina used to do, or was more effective?
Stamina was more
now.
effective? In what sense was... What do you mean?
I don't know, like it lasted longer or something like that, or it made food and something about the food bar going down at a specific speed, or the water bar.
Yeah.
Maybe not necessarily just the stamina bar. And they transferred some of those bonuses that you would have to that new system with the carbs and stuff.
Yeah.
So now if you have a full bar of everything, that you have more benefit than before. However, if all you did was just do a refresh, you now have less benefit than you used to have before the change.
Because now refresh doesn't increase your CF.
It doesn't do everything. Yeah, it doesn't do that. So somehow they managed to get away with nerfing slightly, while at the same time no one really cared that much because of all the stuff that we gained.
Right.
And that is the perfect way to nerf something.
Yeah, I agree with that. Nerf it so that people feel like they're getting something.
Not only did not many people complain, or barely anybody, no one really cares either that we lost something, because we gained so much from it.
Mm-hmm. We did gain a lot.
Even though you know that they did it. You know that there's some kind of change that made it, what you were doing before less effective.
But you know what? There were still people who complained about it.
Will you accept?
I do recall people reading people. Yeah, some people, but some people got so mad that their refresh felt like, because now it didn't give you those full bars. Now, actually, what they were complaining about was this, that they felt that refresh got nerfed in this way. Now, when you refresh, you cannot eat right after you refresh to fill up your bars. It'll tell you you're too hungry or you're too full or whatever to eat. So after your refresh, you had no way of increasing those bars until you somehow...
I think in retrospective, now as the cooking system is more, ingrained in Wurm society, I don't think anyone would complain. It was a little, touch and go, especially if you don't know what the cooking system will end up being. Like, we don't know what all the new recipes are when it first came out, and we didn't know how it would affect us.
Now, Buddha, do you mean we overestimated how many people care that see it, or is it that there's a lot of people who think that CCFP is a thing? Like, to be honest, when it came in for me, I was in the boat of not caring really at all that it was there. I didn't see it changing anything really for me. It is nice that we can just like eat a piece of meal and get all these bonuses or whatever, but whatever.
And now, what do you think?
No, I mean, to me, it feels like another thing that I gotta make sure that I get.
And is it harder for you to get?
No, it's actually really easy to get. It's just a
Yeah,
little
so,
like
Before, it was really easy, like we would just make meals.
right. People thought it was Nerf, yeah, right away. I think that people's response to any change is, how is this going to nerf me?
Right.
I really do feel like it's super easy. Like, for example, you can just go into trade chat and say, I looking to buy full CCFP, meal or whatever. You probably won't need to pay more than 10 copper to get a meal that in 2 bites will fill up all these bars. And then you can put that into a larder filled with snow and it'll last forever. Not at forever, but,
And the benefits, completely outweigh what was going on before.
Yeah. I mean, the sleep bonus benefit alone is huge. I mean, people equate sleep bonus to real life money because to get it back, you have to buy sleep powders.
I'm just saying, because this is not really a cooking discussion. There are ways to nerf something by adding features.
Right.
Or, let's say, rebalance or reshuffle something.
But in terms of the pickaxe imbues and the hatchet imbues, I don't know how... It would be near impossible to nerf that back to, let's say, the percentage of the difference. I think that people would just get so mad.
However, imbues are consumables.
Yes.
They can just run out.
So stop providing imbues? You don't think people will look at that as a nerf too?
I don't know. We weave it into the storyline of Wurm.
Yeah. Uniques all of a sudden do not drop imbues.
This is what you have to do. No, not uniques all of a sudden don't stop dropping. We have been getting attacked for how long by these rift monsters? We need to have a huge event take place. Let's say on all the servers, where whoever these people are, I don't know how much lore there are for these rift guys. They need to, or their king or whatever, needs to emerge into our world. Or we need to go to theirs.
Okay.
And we need to end this whole thing once and for all.
Okay.
There needs to be some kind of drastic change where...
I think that people are going to see through that.
and maybe it changes. So you know how the rift system, so I'd say the system, but like when there is a rift and it changes the environment or in that area, right? It adds all of those rift materials and stuff. Imagine what a huge world kind of ending battle would do to the world.
Okay.
Of Wurm.
So it would send it back into the Dark Ages.
Who knows?
All right.
It could send it off. It could literally change the substances that you find in the whole world. Some things might be gone. Some things might have different properties associated with, like ores.
And now you're playing a completely new game.
And now you're playing like Wurm 2.0, but
Right.
but in a way that, like, as a developer, you have the ability to then fix all the mistakes you feel like you've left in the game.
Yeah. I don't see this happening.
I don't know, it's just an idea.
So what do you say we try this giveaway?
Yes, so you mentioned that you had an item.
Mm-hmm.
You were imping it or something.
Yeah, on the
At
last
some point.
stream, I was all alone and I was casting on this pickaxe that I had imped to 95. Let's go get it. Let's go up there and get it. And in the end,
what
we
was the
landed
cast
with
like?
92 WOA, 92 Circle of Cunning on a rare pickaxe that I imped to 95.
Nice.
So let's see. Let's take a look at it. There it is. 95 quality pickaxe. Rare pickaxe. It has the signature of Rosie, who is the person I bought it from. She made it, I guess.
Alright, and how should we do this giveaway?
Now I figured out the giveaway thing in the, I have this Nightbot now. But the one thing I wasn't thinking about was how do we know who to send it to? I guess we're just gonna have to get whoever wins will have to send me a name, and then that'll be the person I send it to in the game, I suppose.
Sure.
So let's start this thing
Fail
up.
safe.
Yeah. So let me put in. Give me a keyword. What do you think, Brian? What should the keyword be?
Worm.
Worm. Okay. So everybody, type in worm into the chat, and we'll see if this is working. So if you want the pickaxe, you type worm into chat, into Twitch chat, and that'll enter you into getting a chance at winning this rare pickaxe. There we go. We got people saying worm. Okay, nice. And everybody's showing up on my list here, so that looks good. And we'll give everybody some time to do that. I'm going to go over back to digging. And I kind of want to keep doing these sort of giveaways. And, one of the things is that as we stream, we do make a little bit of money for streaming because of all the donations and the subscriptions and the bit cheers, and we have people sponsoring us on Patreon. So I'm looking at using a portion of that to obtain a bunch more giveaway stuff. Ah, thank you,
It's always a good idea.
for that subscription with Twitch Prime.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's take a look here. Oh, we got Ravenhawk. I will close it off in, let's say, 30 more seconds. Let's do another round of digging. How about that? One more round of digging. All right, so it looks like we got. You got good odds here, because on my list I have 8. Is it 8 people? Giraffespy, Hua, JD Booker, Catnip, Ravenhawk, Reganation, The Absorbic, Validate, You are all entered into the raffle for this wonderful rare pickaxe. And if you want to enter yourself in, you just type in Wurm into our chat. And that place is too littered. All right.
I mean, I shouldn't type Wurm into our chat.
I don't think you get... I think moderators... Alright, now I have no idea what's going to happen when I click this button. The start giveaway button. But I will
probably
do
break
it.
my internet again.
Yeah. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Roll it. And Draftsby is our winner. Did it do anything on the stream? Or Nightbot did it. Nightbot said it. There it is. Congratulations, Draftsby.
I see. Congratulations on this rare pickaxe.
Yes.
Oh.
Alright, so here's where I'll need a character that I can send it to. And I'm not sure how to get that without
you
you
can
saying
always
it to me
just
in the
PM.
chat. Can I PM? Yes. We can, whispers are disabled, okay. Huh. I will need to go to Twitch and... I don't even know. This is where it was like breaking down for me in terms of like, how do I do this? These are just growing pains, folks. We'll figure this all out. But let me see here. I'm going to try to PM you, Drasby. Whisper. Okay. So Drasby, in this whisper, you're going to tell me who to send this to. And we will send it off. I'm really excited for this priest update that's coming. It's really got me.
Has there been any new information?
I mean, there's a lot of information given, and sifting through it all has been, you know, time consuming.
Okay. But in a good way?
In a good way. In a good way, because it's gotten me so excited and raring for the priest change to come.
Is it making you want to play your priest more now? Or is it making you want to wait, hold back, until the changes happen to really dig in?
Huh. It really has gotten me wanting to play my priest now, even though I know that everything's going to change.
Now, yeah, I mean, you have a priest, you hear about the changes. When the changes become, you know, set in stone and in the game, and your priest is basically a new priest, do you feel like is there stuff that you've lost, or is there stuff that you will have lost the ability to do?
That I will have lost the ability to do? I'm not even sure, to be honest. Thanks, Validate, for this dirt. It will definitely come in handy, I'm sure. I don't see this update taking away anything, if you know what I mean. It almost seems like just like what you're saying. There's no nerfs, and if there are nerfs, then it almost seems like they're not apparent because you're just going to get a whole bunch of stuff in return anyway.
Right.
You know, like, for example, with 100 faith, you'll be able to cast Life Transfer as a foe priest, let's say. You know, even if they did take away something from you, that alone is enough to say, hey, like, that that's going to make life transfers so much easier.
Do you feel that that could potentially make life transfers too common?
It will definitely make life transfers too common. That's for sure. And I think that it's not only because they're reducing the, making it so that a single priest can cast it. But it's because people are going to go crazy for it. In that little, at least for the first little bit, people are going to go crazy for it. And so they're all going to reprime their priest, and they're all going to go and cast life transfer like over and over and over again. So we're going to get this massive
that can only
influx.
be a good thing.
Sure.
That can only be a good thing for this game. Having more priests around.
Yeah.
More people introducing more stuff. Playing more.
Playing more. What I can see the reason why they're focusing on this one, and it's because it's going to be a huge boost for the game in terms of numbers, because you're going to get all these people priming their old priests back up, and you're going to get a massive boost in the population for a little while anyway, which is great because that will fuel the development for the next stage, right? Like you want each update to bring in revenue for the game, because that's only just going to make the game better in the long run.
And if you had to think, what could be the downside of this update?
Well, like whenever there's a change that makes it so that something floods the economy, it does cause the economy to suffer in the sense that things will sell for less money.
Is it a bad thing? Here are the two options, right? Either things are not in the economy, or there are lots of things in the economy, and which means people are playing.
Right. I mean, it's the difference between a buyer's market and a seller's market. When it's a buyer's market and there's a ton of these life transfer items out on the market, and the buyers can basically set the price because there's so many people selling, then the people that enjoy that situation are the ones who are normally buying, which are usually the newer players or the players who are you also have all those well-established players who will just buy stuff instead of making it themselves. So for those people who like to play like that, who are like the veterans who just buy stuff, or for newer players, you're going to see, it's definitely positive for those players. The people that this will be negative for, those who are trying to make money.
But isn't a seller's market just another word for a market that no one's in? Like a dead market?
Well, a seller's market is one where things hold high value, and so the seller can...
in the context of Wurm.
Right. But in the context of Wurm, I guess, if you were to see a real seller's market, what you would end up seeing is a lot of people wanting to buy stuff, but the stuff that they want to buy is rare. And if you have that item, then you essentially can, as the seller, can dictate the price. So
now,
this system really only benefits a very small percentage of people.
True.
Which is something
However,
to consider.
Is Wurm in a seller's market right now?
Right now, it is definitely not in a seller's market for nearly everything, except for maybe Drake and Dragon Scale, those types of things.
If you had to gauge what the state of Wurm's market is right now.
What's the state of Wurm's market? It's definitely a buyer's market in the sense that there's a lot of surplus out there, and people have no problems buying stuff. if you had 5 silver, for example, you could probably find any rare tool that you would want and get it all enchanted up and improved up. Maybe 5 or 6 silver or whatever. You could have like a top end, so.
But do you feel that the problem is that there's just too many sellers?
There is too many sellers. Too many people making things and not enough people buying the things that are being made, that's for sure.
So not enough people buying things. Essentially, there's just an imbalance. We don't have players to come in and buy the stuff that we're all making.
Right.
So, if you have to go, like, how do you fix that problem? How do you fix the economy if the goal was to rebalance the marketplace in buyers and sellers?
Well, here, Absorbic has an idea, like hinting at the idea of if you were to increase the number of items leaving the game through either, decay or shattering or that sort of thing. That's one way. Making it harder for items to enter the game, but, over the years they've made it really easy for items to enter the game. There was a time when...
I don't think that the answer would be having less people be able to do stuff.
Okay.
Right? Because that's essentially what you would have to do if you wanted to have less items enter the game, then less people would have to be making these items to come into the game, which means less people would be playing the game.
Yes, that's true.
And that's not what we want. We don't want
that's
that.
the way the old system was, where it was so hard to get certain items. Like, a very few got their hands on the most expensive items. I think that it's those same very few people who are the same who would complain that the economy is dying.
Right.
Like
in the end, what do we need? We need more players. We need more players to consistently be playing the game. So a consistent new turnaround of players that come to the game, get excited, purchase items. But then, how about the idea of we need more items that are just as useful as the most useful items in the game?
Huh. Like more items on the tier of dragon scale, let's say.
Let's say more different items that so if you took all the basic tools in the game, which ones, if you had to pick 3, which ones are the most useful?
The 3 most useful tools in the game?
Yeah.
Huh. I mean, the ones that I would find most useful, I'd say, are my shovel, my pickaxe, and my hatchet.
Okay, let's say you were tasked, you have to make 3 items to sell.
Okay.
To most universally appealed items that you think are going to sell the best. What would you make?
I mean, of the items that I could just make out of the materials I can gather, I'd probably make those ones. Yeah. I'd probably make those ones. Yeah.
And what are they?
Shovel, pickaxe, hatchet.
And why?
They're like the first items that people are going to be looking to use when they're doing stuff. So, like, the shovel is for terraforming, and that's one of the first things that anybody's going to be needing to do when they are making their first deed or whatever. Hatchet as well. Chop all the trees that are on your deed and get the wood items, and then pickaxe, same reason. You're going to need iron, so you're going to need to make your mine and do that sort of stuff.
Okay. Why didn't you choose a butchering knife?
Well, see, I'd say all players are going to be doing those three activities, and there's not all players are going to be actively trying to go out and butcher. I mean, they might butcher a little bit, but not to the extent that they would be mining or.
And why didn't you choose a leather knife?
Same reason. I mean, I'm a prime example. I never did any leatherworking, and there's going to be a good proportion of the player base that doesn't do leatherworking ever, and so you are making a tool that is only going to be wanted by a small percentage of the player base.
So we have all these items that we could create, but everybody's going to be thinking like you. What can I saturate the market with so that I can make the most amount of money? And you gave a valid reason. The reason is these are the items that we feel that the most people are going to be using. So imagine there were 10 more items that were just equally in your mind as useful as the 3 that you listed in Wurm. Now it becomes a lot harder to have these items be saturated. So all of a sudden these sellers can't just target these few tools.
Well,
and now they have to be like specialized in 10 or 20
yeah,
tools.
But
and they can't. Like you literally can't be a specialized person in that menu. So
that's not true though, because you'll have there's several market.
You got time, right? Like
I mean to say that you go onto the forums, and if let's say your goal was to find like an enchanted awl, you'll be able to find it, just because people have gotten to the point where they could just make everything. You have characters who have the ability to do that, and they're doing that to make money. So they're going to, saturate the market.
Really,
regardless.
There's not that. Like if you're talking about weapons in general, it's not that many options.
What do you mean?
A weaponsmith doesn't have that many options.
Sure.
To make that many weapons.
But the real issue isn't that there's like a weaponsmith out there making everything. The issue is that you have people out there who have their weaponsmith, their blacksmith, their carpenter, and then their high-level priests that can do everything, and then they go and make everything to the highest quality and or enchant everything to the highest quality, and then they put that on market page. And then there's multiple of those people. Like, so you can go onto the forums and just find 5 different people who are making everything at the highest quality, and they're competing with each other, so their prices are diving. And you can get, so it's gotten to that point.
What I'm saying is, the answer to that would be, or one answer to that could be more items. More items that are just as useful.
And that has happened over the past couple of years. We've gotten so many new items, like a bee smoker.
Well, we haven't gotten items that are just can hit your top whatever in usability.
True, bee smoker.
We've gotten a lot of specialty items.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of specialty items, and which is great. But it doesn't help the economy that much if we're talking specifically about how to spur this whole balancing act. Now, more items would be a tough thing to do, like especially more items that in your mind you would feel, oh yeah, that item, that's an essential item. How do you make an essential Wurm item?
Right.
So that in everybody's mind, you're thinking, yeah, you definitely need that.
To make an essential Wurm item, you need an essential skill or activity added to the game that everybody needs to do, or at least everybody would want to do because it's something that is desirable.
Exactly. So
it would be hard.
It would be tough, but not impossible. And it would be sort of like one piece of the puzzle to get kind of the game going in general, because not only does it help the economy, but it helps spur more people coming back to the game, let's say.
Right.
Especially if you're like, well, look at this, now you can, go underwater, diving or something. So like something that you can do in Worm, and you need these items to do that, or I don't know.
Buddha makes a valid point. Every time that they add something that you kind of need to do, people cry out.
People will cry out.
Because they say that there's already so many chores that they need to do. Adding more things that you need to do in this game is not what's needed, etc., etc. I don't think it's a matter of need to do, but it's like, I mean, just adding something that is fun.
Wanting to do.
Yeah,
and you know what? You know what I think that they need in this game, and that would help greatly with. They need a different level or a different tier of items for the masterclass people.
Okay.
We need to have our own tools. We need to have our own special stuff that will help us create masterclass items that we couldn't do before.
Okay. Like what, though?
The 90-plus stuff. Imagine that they introduce all of these new items for, let's say, skilled blacksmiths that you could create, but you can't create them with the tools that you have. They're not good enough. So now all of a sudden you need a set of these elite class tools just to make all of these elite master class items.
Okay. I can see that working. I mean...
And now all of a sudden those old tools aren't as useful for you, because you've hit this higher level of blacksmithing. So those tools, I don't know. I feel like I just really want a workbench.
So this is leading towards another workbench.
Somehow I've managed to get to this point in this conversation again. No, but it would be wonderful to have that whole goal again in Wurm.
Right. Starting from the beginning again in terms of like gathering a new set of tools.
Yeah. Not only a new set of tools, imagine you had to refine the materials that you got, or somehow you had to harvest the materials in a different way.
So Absorbic is asking, did people complain about the cooking update? Because they feel like cooking is a need to do now and was loved by most. I think right when it was announced and how it was released, people did complain. They all felt like now they're going to have to learn something new and do all this extra work in order to do the things that they would normally like to do, like just that they have to like worry about all this meal stuff. So one thing that I think the devs did a really good job at doing is making sure that those people who made meals the way they used to make meals, if they just wanted to continue making meals that way, they can. Like they didn't have to change or learn or do anything different than they did before, because all that stuff stayed the same. They just added a whole ton of extra stuff. And I think people eventually realize that, yeah, it's adding stuff that you can now do, and maybe you're going to like something. This is like something new that you can do. And I think that's why people liked it in the end. But yeah, people complain that I don't think it matters what you do.
You know what? People are hesitant to embrace something they don't understand. It's natural.
Yeah.
But I think what you saw, especially with the cooking update, is that quickly you have people that once you understand what exactly it takes to do the cooking, and once you understand how the change fits into the game, then looking back, I don't think there's anybody that really would be complaining.
Right.
It just takes some time.
And I think that's an
So
important
really,
message to the devs, because I think it sometimes when the community gets so outraged, it sometimes changes the direction of the development, because the development is trying to respond to the outrage. But I think that if,
don't be scared.
Don't be scared. Do what's best
By
for the
the
game.
scared people.
Yeah. Do what's best for the game. And don't let that. Now, obviously, there are going to be some people who give valid constructive criticism and who are able to articulate it in a way that is not so
Makes sense.
tantrumy. Yeah.
No, like, you read what people have to say, and if it makes sense, then you just incorporate what they say into the change, like the constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's always valid points out there. However, I don't think that going backwards is ever the option.
I might have just lost my sound, so
What just
I'm
happened?
going to switch to my plug-in earphones.
I can still hear you. At least I think I can still hear you.
Just gonna have to bear with me though, because this might take a little bit of time to fix up.
What exactly is happening?
There we go. I can hear you
Alright.
now.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess that's the end of that rant.
Yeah.
Pretty much workbenches.
That's the bottom line. Workbenches.
Oh man, I don't know how I keep going there.
Validate mentioned something earlier, although, oh yeah, here, not sure which topic I want to go to. Bulk making machines.
Yes, I think we've mentioned bulk making machines a couple times in the past, and I think we had a pretty good way of getting them in the game without any, like, I don't know, too much complaints, I would say.
I mean,
But I can't remember exactly the way that we.
the
were
one
thinking.
complaint is that it automates the game for you, right?
And how much does it
right,
automate?
a little bit. But what if it's like I can make 1,000 bricks in X number of time, right? Like I can't remember how our system, like how we discussed we would want to see that. But was it that you could just put a whole bunch of shards in and it would just convert it? I guess you would be limited by 100 shards or whatever, or you'd be limited by a certain amount.
You would be limited to how much you can put in there. You wouldn't be able to put, a ton of items inside of these machines and
Right.
then just let it go for days.
But you might be able to let it go for like 5 minutes or something like that.
Let's say you put it in there, you could let it go for like a little while.
Yeah.
Even if it was like an hour.
Hey, epic level goblin. How's it going? You did catch us. You did catch a stream. However, we are 13 hours in. Or sorry, 13
13 hours in. We just did this for 13 hours?
We are 3 hours in. And so you caught probably the tail end of it.
Probably coming to the end, yeah.
One per deed or one per local? I like one per deed. One per deed seems pretty...
Well, how about, let's say it's not about just the item, but the item could be, you could have a low-level item, a mid-tier version, a high-level version. The quality of the items could change the amount that you can put in there, the time that it takes. Lots of variations. And let's say in an hour, you could put some logs in there, and now you have, 100 planks in an hour. Would you care?
Yeah, I can't see that being overpowered or anything like that.
And then you'd have to manually take those logs out, or those planks out, put in more logs.
Yeah.
And start the timer. And then during that time, you have the ability to do something else.
So Absorbic wonders if you should make it cost money to use these sorts of things, like make it cost silver. Yeah. Well, I wouldn't care either and the real reason is because I don't think anybody would use it if it cost silver to run.
That's true. You almost have to make it so you earn that ability to do that. And make it so it's a high... I don't want to use the word cost. Because I wouldn't say that I want to use real money for it. But that it would take a lot to get to a place where you can use that.
Yeah, I think that this could tie nicely into like a village system where you're like a village has to get to a certain point before you can build one of these things on your village, and then it just sort of like adds and helps out, but not to the point where you can crank out bulk goods and sell them,
Village system.
Yeah.
That is something that this game needs yesterday.
Yesterday. Yeah.
Maybe when we first brought it up. This game in a PvE and somewhat in a PvP respect needs, like, it revolves around these whole villages that you create. We spend most of our time there. We spend most of our time thinking about it. We're currently doing that again.
Yep.
What could we do next? What is the village that we can build up next? And it's all in our minds. We're gonna do this because we like being closer together. I mean, that was like the first half of this stream. We're gonna build these buildings closer together. We don't need that much space because we need. But imagine, like, we build it up and then we get it to the way that we like it. And then there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
For the village.
I mean, it's why we're doing it again.
What's next?
It's because once one
What's
is
next?
finished.
Do it again.
Yeah, do it again.
So where's the next phase of the village? How do you make your village more than what you initially built? How do you make you care about your village still after you finished the creation of it? And that's where an actual system, a village system of some kind, needs to be in place. It's the natural progression of this game for most people.
Right.
And it is, I think, single-handedly the one thing that, if done correctly, would prolong the experience for the most amount of people. And yes, I really, really hope that the user interface is still being worked on, and all those polishing up of the game for whatever the new player experience that they want to do is being worked on. And all the feedback that they got from Wurm Unlimited that will allow players to get into the game and not quit before they even start the game. I hope that stuff's being worked on. But all of that stuff, all of the feedback was based on players that couldn't even stand the look of Wurm to even figure out what it was.
Yeah, but you're gonna
Now,
if you're talking about trying to increase the population of this game, you better be focusing on those people, right?
That's a start. So you get those players into the game. Okay, that's what all of that change will do.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's going to
do
try
all
it
this
again.
user interface, and everybody's going to try it again and get in, and they're going to play. And as Wurm players, we know what's going to happen. So most of these people, they're going to get into it. They're going to want to build their first cart. They're going to want to build their first house. They're going to have dreams and aspirations about doing a profession, breeding horses,
making silver,
building their village, and they go and they build their house. They get their village going. They got all these plans for building a house or building houses on their village. And then their motivation starts declining because they've been working on this house for months, and their goals of their village kind of start becoming like this obscure goal that they don't really understand what they're really going towards. And let's say they get to the end and they finish building their houses. There might be some people that get burnt out. There's no natural progression at that point.
You mean for the people to do what's next after they finish?
What's next? They need.
I mean,
a lot of people need the what's next.
Though
now we're talking.
There is something next in this game. I mean, the game is designed not to be sort of a linear thing, but more of a. There's all these extra other new things that you've never done before.
Right.
Like
the game has to change.
No. That's not what I'm saying. The game, I mean to say that the game already has things. The game has to change.
The user has to
change what they're doing.
Yeah. Now you're a blacksmith. Would you ever stop being a blacksmith?
Right. Well, I do. One thing I do like about this game is that there are other things that I am interested in trying that I've never tried before in the game, and there's a lot of it,
which is great. That's what makes people stay. So people stay because there's so much to do, so many different things. So that type of player stays. But if you're a builder and you're a person that likes that whole aspect of village building, the game ends for you right there.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing else to accomplish.
I think that
this game. Okay, that's one side. So village updates. Or village updates. A village system would help out a lot of those players. And it would have to be a system built in a way that makes it very clear what the progression would be. So you'd have to be like, see, okay, if I just earn this blah, blah, blah amount of something in my village, I unlock the next tier of all of these things that I'm allowed to do, or bonuses or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know, I feel like that is definitely something that needs to take place at some point.
I agree that it would give people goals to work towards. You know, we have to build this kind of house or whatever, like, I don't know. In order to make, let's say, one of these automated lumber mills, we need to build
Right.
a, you know, a 4x5 or whatever, like a wooden house or something, some kind of house that has been labeled or somehow dictated. This is the carpentry house, or not, like the logging house or whatever. So it gives people goals to make one.
It would have to be more abstract, maybe.
Yeah,
But yes,
maybe more abstract.
I'm
Yeah.
sure you can break down what makes a village into pieces and be able to give people goals of something.
Mm-hmm.
Now, saying all that, I think what this game also needs to do is implement many more features that has to deal with socialization.
I would
In
agree to this. Yeah.
all types of aspects, I would say. Now we socialize in the game. There's all sorts of events that take place. That's all created by the user, by the players, which is great. But we almost do it in spite of the game's mechanics,
Sometimes, yeah.
right? Impalongs are designed in the way that they're designed to get around the mechanics of the game. Now, so how does a developer create mechanics designed specifically to socialize with others?
I guess there would have to be benefits for socializing, or there would have to be certain things that you can get. But
So
it's
let's go with the village system here, for example.
okay.
Imagine there was a mechanic in this game where there was special items that you could only make with another person. Imagine one of the village update goals could be to make some kind of town hall or something like
here's
that.
an example. They did add the requirement that you need 2 people to build a bridge. So,
Yeah.
which is we thought that was great when they added that for this very reason. So if one of the goals in your village might be to build a bridge, and that requires you to have 2 people, but then
To start it.
to start it. But then the other issue is that people just log on their alts, It's like
Which
they
is
don't
fine.
have to be social.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, okay.
It gives the players that don't want to be social the ability to do it, to be part of it if they want.
Mm-hmm.
But those people shouldn't stop the game from becoming a social game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why it's an MMO.
Yeah. But you just got to make
both.
sure that people have the ability to do that sort of thing if they want to take part in this, but also don't want to be social.
Sure, but at the same time, it's a choice if you don't want to be social. And that choice should have consequences. Just like being social is a choice that should have consequences.
Right.
That's okay. You should be able to play it the way that you want to play, but it shouldn't stop the direction of the features included in this game. Or shouldn't dictate it, you say. But imagine that your village has just unlocked some special item that you could build on your village. But in order to build it, it requires a mechanic where multiple people would have to build it at the same time.
Right. See, that would be cool. I think
Have
that
it like
yeah, I think and it would definitely require you to potentially get enough villagers or call enough friends over to help out. Now, what about on Xanadu, where calling your friends over might mean hours upon hours of journeying?
and it's hours upon hours of journey. Part of the game.
Though they are adding the ability to summon people using your priest. Did you hear about that?
There you go. I have not, but I think that would be fine.
Yeah. I agree. And I got
People
this
already use that for the
I got
town
this
teleporting system.
I got the sense from Retro that he thought that, or at least the devs thought that it was going to be ill received. There will be people complaining that it's making, travel too easy.
I think people have just naturally complained so much that if you are a developer or someone that deals with games, that's just the way that you have to think all the time.
Yeah, maybe.
Or that's how you assume people are going to react to every change, I should say. But I don't think it's necessarily true. I just think there's always a vocal minority.
Yeah.
But yeah, what could this game do?
I'd love a passenger wagoneer that costs copper to travel. Okay, so where you pay money and you hop on to the back of the wagoneer and it just carts you there. That'd be kind of cool.
Sure. I'd be okay with that. Can even use the wagoneer system that's already in the game.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Hop on the back.
Yep. That'd be cool.
Now, maybe you should just be able to hop onto the backs of these things.
Well, I think we're getting to that point in the evening where we might have to call it a night.
So what exactly does this game need? It needs that UI overhaul. It needs all the little changes to get players into the game.
Mm-hmm.
It needs all these features that allow players to sustain Wurm's growth, to keep those players in the game. And why do we need all that? To help the economy grow and balance out and do all that stuff, and really so that we can have players fill up the lands of Wurm, and once again have us bustling through, having the lands themselves become part of the gameplay again, like it was on Deliverance, where lots of players own the land and just build up, and just having the world full once again, all for the goal of one day getting workbenches. And I think that's where I'm going to end right there.
All right. Well, definitely one last topic that I think that we're going to have to save for the next time because it's a huge one. But something totally related, and that is the sheer size of the game now in comparison to before, and how all the servers are so distant from one another. Validate had asked, or had mentioned earlier. Let me see if I can go back. To combine, he suggests to combine the servers so that, you know, each LAN stays the same, but they sort of get connected into one big landmass. One big connected, not landmass, but, you know, server. So that people are closer to each other, I guess.
That'd be interesting. Imagine they took every single deed, exactly the way it looks. But then, like, you log in one day and it's just in a different place.
In a different place, yeah.
Your deed's there, everything's like exactly the way it is.
It's just a lot closer to everything else.
A lot closer to everything else. Like the empty space around just kind of collapsed in on itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how much people would think about that. But yeah. Sorry about my internet. I don't know. My internet, it's still kind of flashing on and off.
Yeah.
I still see a big red glare from my modem, which is never a good color to see.
Yeah.
But I think at least I managed to stick around for a bit.
Yep, for
Talk
sure.
a little bit of Wurm.
Hopefully your internet is better for next time.
Yeah, thanks everyone for coming and listening all the way, you know, past midnight or wherever you are. I'm sorry that I couldn't really take part in the chat. I can't see anybody's chat. But
Yeah.
I'm happy that we were able to do the stream anyway. So
Yeah.
thanks for hosting, Adam.
Thank you guys for showing up, and we look forward to seeing you on the next stream. Not sure exactly when it's going to be, but we'll keep you updated, so keep an ear open for that. Hit the follow so that you can get notifications for when we're going to go live next. And yeah, until then, we're going to sign off. So keep on worming.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Have a good night.